Good evening, and welcome to Derren Brown's Infamous. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Derren Brown.
We are all trapped inside our own heads, and our beliefs and understandings about the world are limited by that perspective. I came out when I was 31, presume that I was gay when I was a teenager, so that's 15, 16 years of pretending this huge part of you doesn't exist, of dreading the subject of sex, and generally feeling like you don't fit in. And then many years later you realize you have to come out, you have to tell people about it at some point. I didn't mean you specifically just then. Sorry, I was just looking at... Sorry, forgive me, I was just gesturing. One has to come out. And when you do, this is my point. If you have any secret, whatever it is, anything that you carry around with you and you think you couldn't possibly tell people, when you finally do, when you finally summon up the courage to get this big thing off your chest, you realize people don't care. They don't care, not really. Not even your best friends, in the nicest way, don't really care. Because they are also trapped inside their own heads. They are the center of their own worlds, and stuff you're saying to them is just some information about you, really. It's all it is. Like what I'm telling you now, it's big stuff for me, for you, it's just some information about me. The novelist David Foster Wallace said, brilliantly, I think, you'll worry a lot less about what other people think of you when you realize how seldom they do. It's very good, but we're terrible at realizing what goes on in other people's heads because we are trapped inside our own, and one consequence of that is that we're particularly bad at realizing how fundamentally similar we all are. So if you're in your 30s, I'm talking to you now. There'll be concerns that you might have or issues that you might be facing, which you may feel just apply to you. The comforting reality is they apply to pretty much everybody in their 30s. Women in that age group, you'll have started going to the doctors more often. And men, very common, particularly in your later 30s, to feel stuck in a rut and to fear the possibility of an extramarital affair. And statistically, in an audience this size, 13 of you will be having an affair right now. 13 of you. I don't mean right now, like this second. But although there is something going on up the top, can't quite tell what it is. But 13 of you, and these are real patterns of behavior. There are similar patterns for people in their 40s and 50s and 60s and so on throughout life. So if I were a psychic, which I am not, or if I claim to have special powers, which I really don't, I could use that kind of information to seemingly know a lot about you, or give somebody a powerful reading. So imagine you've come to see me, and I'm a stage psychic. And I say that I'm picking up some kind of psychic vibration from somebody in the audience, and I say it's a lady, and actually, could you, I promise I won't ask you off on stage, could you just put your hand up if you are a lady? Just so we can see how it works out in terms of numbers. So please do this on the balconies as well, and right up at the top of the back. Keep your hands up as long as this continues to apply to you, all right? So let's say I'm sensing it's a lady and sort of a youngish lady, sort of around 20, that kind of age. And I'm sensing your name begins with an F. It's a random letter, but it'll just help narrow you down. So keep your hands up as long as this has continued to apply to you. Right now, in the dark, it can feel a bit special. I think he's talking to me. Whereas the reality is, do keep your hands up. If we just bring the lights up for a moment, we bring the lights up. If you look around you, you should see in the nicest way, nothing special happening at all. Just a bunch of Fs sat in the dark. Actually, could you stand up if you've got your hand out? Could you stand up? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so yeah, it's good. Right, a good number of you. Anybody on these other balconies? Yeah, hello, great. Could you stand up? We'll get a microphone to you. This is on the upper circle. The rest of you can sit down. I think I'll just talk to this lady here, but thank you so much for standing. What's your name?
Faye.
Faye, nice to meet you, Faye. If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
20.
20. Have you got any pets?
Yeah.
What have you got? Don't say their names, just like dogs, cats, whatever they are, it's fine.
Dogs.
Dogs, what breed?
Staff.
Staffers, okay, good. You said dogs, is that 2?
Yeah.
Did you name them both yourself?
Family name.
Family name them, okay. All right, how long ago did they name them? Roughly, what are we talking about? A few years ago?
About 10, 11 years ago.
10, 11 years ago. Okay, what do your parents do for a living? Or at least what were they doing back then?
Hairdresser and electrician.
Hairdresser and electrician, okay, good. Okay, the dog's male, female, one of each?
Female.
Okay, both female?
Yeah.
All right. Now listen, you're going to tell me the name of one of the dogs and I'm going to work out what they would have called the other dog, all right? So if you think of both of the names, if you think one of them is maybe a little more obvious than the other one, then give me that one so I can work out the more unusual one, all right? So take your time, but just give me the name of one of the dogs.
Ebby.
Ebby?
Yeah.
E-B-B-Y?
E-B-B-I.
A-E-B-B-I. Maybe short for ebony? Is it a black dog? Okay, all right, good. So this will be the name of the other one. All right, and it's a female?
Yeah.
Okay, and they name both of them together. All right, just imagine you are calling this dog to you. Imagine you're calling the dog to you. All right, now as you do that, just keep repeating the name in your mind again and again. Now, the lips remain sort of quite relaxed, importantly, so we know there's no sort of plosive sounds or like P's or B's or anything that would bring the lips together. So keep repeating the names. No, it's also at the front of the mouth, so you've got like an N or a T, maybe, and I think we're starting with a S sound or a Z. Oh, there you go, careful. You don't need to say yes, that's okay. I'll work it out. I appreciate the help, just takes the challenge out of it somewhat. Oh, there you go, back up there again. So just keep repeating the name, just shout the name, nothing out loud, but in your mind, just shout the name like you're screaming to this dog to come to you, all right? Louder and louder until you are... Oh, no, they called it Xena. Xena with an X, like the princess... Yeah. Well, yeah, thank you very much indeed. Great, take a seat. Well done, thank you. Okay, so... Thank you so much. So this is genuinely specific information, right? Not just things that would apply to everybody. So let's keep this really specific. Put your hands up now if you're a man aged between 28 and 35. Put your hands up. Keep them up if you are in the earning group 20 to 50K. And then keep them up if you've been in a relationship for at least 2 years. Otherwise, drop your hands. All right? Good. Okay, we get the lights up. Let's choose one of you. I'm going to choose from downstairs. So upstairs, you may drop your hands. I'll come to you in a moment. Let's keep your hands up downstairs. All right, wave your hands so I can see you, so I can see more clearly. Okay, all right. I want to get this over this side. So can somebody get it to somebody with a hand up? Doesn't have to be the person nearest you. Just take a look around you. Get it to somebody with a hand up. Okay, could you stand up for me, sir? There's a microphone there. Rest of you can drop your hands. Let me talk to this gentleman. All right, great. What's your name, sir?
Nick.
Nick. Okay, Nick. So we're going to go really specific, Nick. I want you to think of a word, an English word, ideally at least 4 letters, but it doesn't have to be. If you want to go shorter, that's up to you. But have you got something?
Yep.
Yeah? Okay. Now, whatever you're thinking of, Nick, is the first word that's just come into your head, and I've just stood you up in front of 2,000 people and asked you to do that. I don't want you going home later saying to yourself, he just put me on the spot, I didn't get a chance to think, I bet everyone just thinks of the same word. So right now, Nick, is when you change your mind again and again and again, so you don't have that excuse later on. All right? You can imagine if you like, you're looking through a dictionary, maybe you come across an unusual word, maybe not too unusual, maybe that in itself would be quite predictable. Just take your time, have a look through it. You've got 26 letters to look through. Take your time until you come across a word you're absolutely happy that I could not just rely on everybody thinking of. Have you got something in your mind now? Change your mind as many times as you like. Yes?
Yeah, I'm happy.
Okay, there's a guy with a pen and paper just there. 2 things, Nick. You're going to write this word down nice and large and clearly, please, because we are going to show it around. But, Nick, really importantly, don't let anybody see what you write. Stick it in the envelope when you're done. Thank you. So this is really specific, right? Even more specific than a pet's name. Which actually just reminds me of something. Let me just show you this briefly. Just while Nick's writing his word down. Can I get this to a lady on or near the aisle? Somewhere over here. So, lady on or near the aisle. Somebody, sorry. Just pass it around. Somebody's lady on or near the aisle. Thank you. Somebody stand up with it. Hello, what's your name, madam?
Amanda.
Amanda, nice to meet you. Do you have a mobile phone number? Do you know it off by heart?
Yes.
Yes, could you write it down for me? There's a guy with a pen and paper there. Gentlemen. That's how you do it. People waste so much time. Amanda, don't let anybody see. Just write it down, fold it up, put it in your pocket when you're done. I saw a psychic do this. I always go and see psychic shows when I can. This one was up above a pub, packed out with people in their 60s and 70s, which is maybe why this flew past them. But the psychic asked a lady to write down her mobile phone number, fold it up, put it in a pocket without anybody seeing. You doing that for me, Amanda? Is it out the way? Yep, lovely, thank you. And she said it was a test, that the spirits would be able to tell what the phone number was. Well, which is a bit odd, but, you know, kind of made sense, so I was intrigued. So could you stay standing for me, Amanda, if you don't mind? Thank you. So just get that right out of the way in your pocket or something if you've got one. Thank you. So she, and obviously, you know, you try not to be judgmental or, you know, but you try and keep an open mind. But I swear to God, she goes, all right, love, I'm getting your grandma, she's coming through. Does actually sound like it now I've said that out loud. I'm getting your grandma, love. She's giving me a phone number as proof that she's coming through. All right, she's saying, she's giving me an O. She's saying there's an O at the start of the number. Is that right? Is that right, love?
Yeah.
Is there an O at the start? Thank you, just passing it on, whatever comes through. She's saying She was a right chatterbox, so she's given me another number. She's saying... Thanks. She's saying a 7. She's saying 07 at the start. Is that right?
Yes.
Is there an 07 at the start? Thank you very much. She's fading away now, love. She's fading away, Petal. But that's something you can take away with yourself. That's £40. You can sit yourself back down. I swear it was pathetic. Sorry, thank you so much, Amanda. It was truly embarrassing. Did that give you enough time, Nick, to write your word down?
It did, yes.
Yes?
Yes, it did.
Yes? OK, have you put it in the envelope?
Yes.
Yes, good, because I also have an envelope. OK, so Nick, can you get yourself to the bottom of the stairs on this side? Just push past the camera people over there for me. And can someone who doesn't mind just reading something out briefly just nip up on the stage? Anyone that fancies coming up. Quick as you can. Somebody come up here. It's going to be you, I think. What's your name, sir?
Luke.
Luke, give Luke a hand. I've become Luke. Thank you very much. Nice to meet you, Luke. Can you take this off my back? Can you take it off my back? Thank you. Pull it off. Pull it, pull it, pull it. Come stand here. Come stand there for me, Nick. Just there. No, Luke, rather. Luke. Nick's over there. Right, Luke, just here. Could you take it out? There's a letter in there. If you take that out for me, I'm going to read this out. But your job is just to check over my shoulder that I'm not changing anything, all right? I'll take it out. Thank you so much. All right. Are you there, Nick? So, look, as I read this out, please, when it gets to the important bit, don't react. So, tonight on the 27th of March, that is tonight, at the Grand Theatre Leeds, that's where we are, I shall ask someone to think of a word. Oh, I did say a man aged between 28 and 35. You are, aren't you? Yes? And in the earning group, 20 to 50K? And in a long-term relationship? Okay. The fact the weather has been cold and overcast today, so you start thinking more about inside sort of things, indoorsy things. The language I used when I asked them to think of a word, and I was using very visual language with the dictionary and so on. The fact that I've stood them up, which means they'll be thinking under pressure, and I got you to change your mind again and again and again, which sort of increases that pressure and starts to kind of push them down certain avenues. All these and other subtle factors will combine to, hopefully, psychologically force the person to think of a particular word, which is film, all right? Film as in, as in movies or film, right? Camera film, movies and so on. Do you want to bring yourself up here? Come and stand here for me. Thank you, Nick. Do you want to keep reading this out? If you just go from there, from the person into the mic. Off you go, Luke. Thank you.
The person who wrote the word has been told not to react. If they have written any word in the English language other than film, this does not reflect badly on Derren or his presented skills.
Fair point. But if out of all the words they could have chosen, they have written film, the audience will go mental. And it does say it there very clearly in print. Mental. You've got this look like this hasn't worked, and I think I know why. Whatever it is, if you take it out, hold it up, show the camera there, like for a good 5 seconds, so everybody can read it. Whatever it is, just shout into the mic as well what it is.
Sorry, I've sealed it.
Oh, you've sealed it? OK.
Yeah.
Oh, God, the suspense.
No.
Christ.
The word is film.
The word is film, you did! There you go, keep on at that, you can have that if you like. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Luke. Thank you too, Luke. Luke and Nick! Thank you so much. I would She's coming back through. Amanda, love, stand up, your grandma, she's come back. All right, she's saying there's a number in your phone number, like a 5 or a 3 or a 9.
Yes.
Which one?
3.
3, that's what she's saying now. She's showing me a 3 very clearly. The others have fading away. There's not a 222 in the middle, is there, love? 222?
No.
No, that's what she's saying. There's not a 222 in the middle. It's another £40. You can sit yourself back down. Thank you. I'm sorry. Listen, if you've ever been to see a spiritualist medium, or particularly if you think you may go and see a medium at some point, I would love for you to come up on stage in the second half of this show and allow me to do a form of mediumship with you. So if this appeals to you and you are 18 or over, can you bring yourself to those stairs? In the interval, they'll bring you up when it's safe to come up. But first, I would love to give one of you a gift, but a real gift. The gift of a trance state. And this trance state will be such that for the brief amount of time that you are in it, it'll be the equivalent of spending a week at a really expensive, exclusive spa somewhere. So I'm only going to choose one of you to give you the full experience. But nonetheless, you can all take part in this and get a taste of it and feel what it's like, because it's so good for you and it feels amazing. So if you'd like to do it, please, stand up. Up you get. Up you get. Come on, feet flat on the floor. Stand yourselves up. If you stand with your hands down by your sides, and stand with your feet about a hip's width apart, so you can stand quite solidly, quite comfortably. Good. Anybody watching this at home, this will not work on you at home, all right? You can watch the show quite safely. It won't have any influence on you at home, so don't worry about that. I'm not quite going to hypnotize you. It's a little bit different because I want you to be aware of it. That's the whole point, is that you enjoy it. Okay, good. So take a look at me. Take a deep breath right the way in now. Bring it all the way in, right the way in, and then let it out. Again, deep breath all the way in and out. And again, all the way in and out. Now, tense up the muscles in your feet and your legs. And with your eyes closed now, listen very carefully. You're keeping your eyes closed. In a moment, I'm going to count to 3 and click my fingers. When I do, you will go straight down into this sleep state. You'll remain standing. Your head will drop down. Your breathing will become lovely and deep and rhythmical. And you can just sink straight down, still hearing and understanding everything. Here we go. Just go with it. I want you to enjoy it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Sleep. And as your head drops down, just let your whole body relax. And as you do this, I want you to imagine that you're walking down a staircase. And each step that you take on the staircase relaxes you more and takes you deeper. Each breath that you breathe relaxes you more and takes you deeper into this sleep, still hearing and understanding everything. And as you do this, I'm going to come down and talk to a couple of you. And the nice thing is it'll take me a couple of minutes to find a couple of you to talk to, which gives you plenty of time to just continue to sink and drift deeper and deeper down at your own rate and speed. That's really good. That's really good. Let me come across to talk to a couple of you as you continue down the staircase. Each step taking you deeper, each word that I say relaxing you more and taking you deeper into that sleep. Excuse me, can I bring you out of there? Good. So I'm just going to talk to a gentleman here. I'm putting my hand on your shoulder. You'll know that I'm talking to you as you carry on sleeping. I'm going to bring your arm out here. We're going to lock it into place. So clench your fist and lock that arm tightly into place. Now tighter and tighter, locking it tightly into place. That's good. So tight. Now that when I take my hand away, it just carries on locking all on its own. Tighter and tighter into place. You see, the more you try to unlock it, the more it just keeps on locking. Tighter and tighter. That's good. Until I touch you on the hand again. And when I do, it'll be released. And as it comes down, you'll just sink and tumble and fall so deeply down into that sleep. Now, right the way down. I got you right the way deep and right the way sound asleep. Just drifting and sinking down. That's really good. Excellent. Very good. Thank you. So in a moment, I'm going to count backwards from 3 to 0. And this will wake you up. It'll bring you up and out of the sleep. And very importantly, I'm talking to you all as a group, but I'm also talking to each of you as an individual. I'm talking to the deepest part of your unconscious mind. 3, here we go. Waking up has never felt so good. 2, and 1, and when you are quite ready to be fully wide awake for the rest of the evening, 0, you can open your eyes, come back to us, be fully wide awake. Take a look around you. Feels good, doesn't it? Enjoy that. Nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hi, hello, great. So, take a seat. Apart from you, what's your name?
Adam.
Adam, lovely to meet you, Adam. Give Adam a big hand. Could you take this off? Just put that on your chair in front of you. Give Adam a hand as you bring him up. Up you come, Adam. Lovely, I'll be done, Adam. Thank you. The rest of you can take a seat for me. Thank you, Adam. All of you, please, as I'm bringing up Adam, can you all please take a look? All of you at both of your neighbours. Very quickly, people on both sides of you. Everybody do that for me now. Even if you don't know them, just a quick look. Thank you, Adam. I'm going to stand you there facing the front. Thank you so much. A quick look to people on both sides. If either of your neighbours is still asleep, now's a really good time to let me know. Put your hand up and make a fuss, otherwise I will presume everybody is wide awake. Good. So is it Adam? Adam, nice to meet you. Thank you. Look at me now and just sleep. Right the way back down, right the way deep. I got you. Right the way sound asleep. Just drifting and sinking and floating and spiraling. That's good. My voice just there in the center of your head. One thing that really interests me about this fact that we are trapped inside our own heads, that we're the center of our own worlds, is that we tend to think that problems in life are real and solid and permanent. The reality is, those same things, just viewed from a different perspective, can suddenly seem temporary and flimsy somehow. And Adam, you're really good at this. And every time I put you back into this sleep, you are going to go deeper, it'll be richer, it'll be more enjoyable each time that you do this. But for now, I want you just to slowly reorientate yourself back to the room. You'll feel yourself waking up, you feel that refreshment moving up through you. When you're quite ready, you can open your eyes and come back to us. Excellent. Thank you, Adam. All right, so let me show you this here. This is something you can all do with each other. You need to get yourself a box that you can put your hand through. I can just do it a little more quickly with Adam because I know he'll be very responsive to this. Adam, I'm going to put something in this box. I don't want you seeing what it is. So if you don't mind, just face the front and just close your eyes, just so you can't see. It's nothing unpleasant. It's a very ordinary household object. I just don't want you seeing what it is. Okay, Adam, you can open your eyes now for me, thank you. Can you put your hand flat on top of the box? Maybe take a sideways step towards it as well. Please don't look at what's in there, thank you. All right. So in a minute, I'm going to get you to lower your hand into the box and find the object. You will probably tell what it is pretty quickly, but it's not really about you identifying it. This is just about you paying attention to kind of the sensations that you get and how you interpret them, okay? So lower your hand in for me. Find the object. First question, how would you describe the temperature of that object?
Room temperature.
Room temperature,
yeah.
Good. And if you squeeze it, would you say it was sort of soft or hard or squidgy or?
Slightly plain.
Slightly plain, okay.
Hard, yeah.
Very good. Now you're lifting it up. Is it light or heavy?
It's light.
Can you tell what it is?
Apple.
It is indeed an apple. Great. So leave the apple where it is. Bring your hand up for me, Adam. That's great. Thank you. Hand by your side again. Would you close your eyes again for me, please? Just face the front. Thank you. Good. You're doing great. This time, I'm going to cover the front of the box so none of you see what it is. So you keep your eyes close to me as well. Good. Give me just a moment. You're doing great, Adam. Okay, you can open your eyes for me. Hand on top of the box again. This time, we'll do it a little bit differently, and I would invite you to join in with this if you like. I want you to think of something in your life, Adam. I won't ask you what it is. Something that makes you feel, something that feels like it's big and getting on top of you at the moment. Feels like it's weighing you down. You think of something? Good. All right. Now, whatever you're thinking of, if you run it through in your mind like a sort of a movie, as you sort of think it through to get those feelings, you'll notice you make that movie screen up here. You make it big and on top of you, which is why it feels like that, all right? Now, if you shrink that down to the size of an iPad, and then bring that down here instead, and take a look at it there instead, Adam. Now watch the same thing, but on that little screen instead. No longer feels like it's getting on top of you, because now you're on top of it. Same thing, but a very different perspective. In fact, as you watch it there now, you can start to feel a real feeling of stability and confidence moving through you. Very different feeling as you watch it. And that can expand up into your chest and shoulders. That's good. It can feel really good as you start to feel like a giant, towering above this thing that used to feel like a problem. As you feel like a colossus towering above this stage. Good, solid and confident, that's good. Lower your hand into the box now and look at me, fingertips. All right, just with your fingertips, find the object, just very gently. Try and keep looking at me as you do this. Find it in the middle there. First question, as you move your fingers along it, is what would you say it's made of? A guess.
Metal.
Metal, good. Now just get a sense of the shape of it, move your fingertips along it, perhaps you can tell what it is. What do you think?
Spoon.
A spoon. What sort of spoon, Adam?
Tablespoon, silver spoon.
Like a big one or a little one?
Little one.
Little like a teaspoon?
Yeah, teaspoon, yeah.
Teaspoon?
Yeah.
Great, okay, you leave that teaspoon where it is, then look at me, just bring your hand out, leave the teaspoon where it is, bring your hand out of the box. Good, excellent, lovely. Face the front, close your eyes again for me, just close your eyes. I'll show you all the teaspoon that he was feeling. I just don't want you seeing, so do keep your eyes closed. As he was feeling confident, feeling like a giant, this was the teaspoon that he felt. All right, you're doing great, just keep your eyes closed, me, Adam, but you are doing brilliantly. I'm going to cover the front of the box again so you can't see. I'll put one more thing in there. This is a slightly trickier object to get in, so give me just a moment with this one. Okay, keep your eyes closed. It's a little longer, Adam. Open your eyes for me. Hand on top of the box. This time, you're going to think of something that makes you feel warm and safe and cozy. Anything you like in life. Could be a person or a place or a memory or something that makes you feel nice and warm and safe and cozy. You got something? Okay. Whatever you're picturing there, just bring that image in a little closer. Make the colours softer and fuzzier. That's lovely. Just keep that feeling there. And look at me again. Lower your hand into the box. Very gently this time. Absolute fingertips, all right? Absolute fingertips. Find the object. And then really gently, maybe let your hand move underneath it a little. Let it move onto your hand a little. Get a sense of, would you say it's light or heavy? What would you say now?
Light.
Again?
Light.
Light, very good. Now, more complicated shape this time, Adam. So take your time with it. You might be able to get a sense of what it is. If you take your time and feel the shape of it and the contours, what do you think it is?
Glove.
A glove?
Yeah.
What sort of glove? Like a woolly glove or a leather glove or a...
A woolly glove.
A little louder, please.
A woolly glove.
A woolly glove, great. You leave that woolly glove where it is then, please. Bring your hand out for me. Bring your hand out, very gently, let it... Good, lovely. Hands by your sides, close your eyes again for me. Thank you, and I'll show you all the woolly glove that he was feeling. I just don't want you seeing again. So, perhaps we can get that. So thank you, could you take that for me? Lovely, great, thank you. Open your eyes, face the front for me, good. Clearly an odd reaction for you, I realise. Thank you. Clearly they were seeing something there that you weren't seeing, I realise that. But I'm sure your friends will explain to you what happened when you join them again. Come forward for me. Point is, you're very good at this, Adam, right? And I'd like to give you this trance state as a gift. But this is going to happen in the interval, is that all right?
Yeah.
Who are you with here tonight?
My mum and my sister.
Your mum and your sister, okay. What's your mum's name?
Christine.
Christine, all right, I might talk to her in a moment. Have you got a mobile phone on you at the moment?
I do.
Okay, I'm going to take that for a moment. I will give it to your mum in just a second as well. Thank you. All right, could you sit yourself up here for me? You happy to do this in the interval, yeah?
Yeah.
Great, lovely, okay. We'll look after your mum and sister. We'll get them a drink as well. We'll make sure they're taken care of. Just swing your legs around for me. And then, yeah, and then lay back as well. So we'll check the pillows in the right place and you're comfortable and just get yourself comfy. All right, and put your legs out. And good, now sit yourself straight back up. Happy get, lovely. So, So, Adam, this trance state now we're going to do, it only exists for your benefit. It's the only reason for doing this. This is a completely private and personal thing for you now. Bring your finger up for me like this. Just point your finger, good. So in a moment, I'm going to touch my finger to yours. When I do, your eyes will close. You'll go back into this trance state, and your trance journey will begin. Are you ready? Good. I'll see you on the other side. Excellent, Adam. That's really good. Thank you. And Adam, you can now just sleep. And as you sleep, you can drift and sink back down that staircase. As you sink deeper, everything else happens 100 miles away. And just to make sure that your experience is really kept quite separate and private and detached, we're placing a sort of cocoon around you, just to make sure that your experience is kept quite separate as you sink deeper and deeper down into that trance state. And everything else happens 100 miles away as you continue down that staircase. That's really good. So I can talk to all of you, and Adam can hear me. It just doesn't distract him as he sinks deeper down into his trance state. His mum, Christine, could you stand up for me? Where are you? Over there somewhere, I guess. Hi, Christine. So I'm going to ask you to draw a picture. There's a couple of things that are important, so please, I want you to understand this. First of all, it needs to be a drawing of something that is a real-world physical object, something you could actually touch, as opposed to just like a geometric shape or a design or something like that. Does that make sense? Okay, and if there's anything else that you just think that Adam might think that you personally would draw for some reason, then ignore that as well. All right. Can you think of something suitable now? Yeah? Perfect. All right. Whatever you draw, there's a guy with a pen and paper at the side there. When you've drawn it, Christine, can you write underneath what it is? Then you won't worry about how accurately you've drawn it as well. So write what it is, but don't let anybody see, including the guy with the pen and paper and none of the cameramen or anything like that either. When you've done it, remember, write underneath what it is and then seal it in an envelope. You should have an envelope there as well. Thank you, Christine. If you can go and do that for me now. Thank you. So while Christine's doing that, let me explain what's going to happen next. We're going to take an interval. If during this interval you would like to come up on stage in the second half, if you have a genuine interest in the possibility of mediumship, please bring yourself to the bottom of the steps on that side there. They will bring you up in the interval when it's safe to come up. When you do come up, take a look at Adam. He's sleeping quite soundly. And then come and sit yourself down. Did that give you enough time to draw your picture, Christine?
Yeah.
Great. Could you bring yourself up here for me? Thank you. Great. So first of all, I'm just going to give you Adam's phone. I just took off him up there, so you've got that. Thank you. And can you write your name for me? In big letters, you can lean on this if you like, but just right where you've sealed it, right across that joint, so you know it can't now be tampered with, right across the joint. Thank you, Christine. Lovely, thank you. I'll put that there. Thank you, and you take his phone. Thank you. So come over here for me. Come and take a look at your son, who's sleeping quite soundly. There's a couple of things I need to ask you to do, and they're both really important, all right? First thing is, you have to keep that a secret. Now, no one saw what you drew, did they? No, great. So please keep it a secret. Don't even tell your daughter that you're with here as well. Absolute secret. The other thing is, every 2 or 3 minutes throughout the interval, can you please remember, in your head, just say to yourself, Adam, I drew a... And then whatever it is, as if you were kind of whispering in his ear what it was. But that isn't out loud. That is just silently in your head. But you must do it. Do you promise to do that, even though that sounds a bit odd? All right, lovely. Thank you. Well, there'll be an usher to take a drink order for you both, and we'll make sure you're taken care of. But thank you so much. And I'll speak to you in the second half. Thank you, Christine. So I'm hoping that while Adam sleeps, that he'll be able to intuit at some level what his mother has drawn and sealed into that envelope. That's really good, Adam. You can just continue to sink and drift down, even more deeply into the sleep, as you find yourself now in a beautiful garden. And as you lay on the grass, and as you feel the warmth of the grass beneath you, and then the fresh air as the breeze blows through the garden, keeping the temperature to the perfect level. And as you do this, I'm going to bring your hands up onto your chest, which will actually help you sleep even more deeply. So I'm going to bring them up here as you continue to sleep. Good. Thank you. Excellent. Just need to get to your stomach, so I'm just going to roll your t-shirt up a little as you sleep. I'm just going to bring this up here and tuck it in. Good. Thank you. Thank you. So I thought in this half of the show I would talk to you about some of my obsessions. 10 years ago, my father called me up to tell me he'd been diagnosed with cancer. And it turned out to be an early form of cancer. It was quite treatable, and 10 years later, he's fine. But at the time, I was quite shaken up by it. And I spoke to a few friends about it. And one girl that I spoke to, that I knew, said, you should take him to see the homeopath that my mum saw when she had cancer. He completely cured it. And I thought, a couple of things. First of all, I thought, yeah, your mum also had 6 months of chemotherapy, which you've just edited out of that story, but okay. And secondly, I know about things like homeopathy because they do interest me. There have been dozens of systematic reviews of all of the hundreds of tests that have been done on homeopathy over the years, proper tests. And we do know now for a fact that it doesn't work. We know that. The results are actually very clear, quite unambiguous. It doesn't work. It doesn't have any real effect. And I tried to nicely explain this to her, and she said, well, it is your dad, though. You could afford to be a bit more open-minded. Open-minded. Thank you. Stand it just there. Thank you. Stay still. Hold your hands out. Lovely. In the Philippines, if you have cancer, there's a form of treatment available to you where the surgeon, without using any instruments or any knives, uses psychic vibrations to enter the body of the patient. So you will feel, Adam, a little bit of poking here for a moment, and then all of this just happens 100 miles away. That's good. And removes from inside any cancerous tumors or demonized parts. You okay? Yeah. Thank you. Would you sit yourself back down again? Thank you. Of course, it's a conjuring trick. It's a really ugly scam called psychic surgery. And sometimes, rather like with homeopathy, sometimes people do get better, surprisingly, either because they were just going to get better anyway, or because of the placebo effect, which just means that for some people with low-level conditions, their belief that this is actually going to help is enough to create a genuine improvement, which is great for those people. But clearly not the same as saying that this is an effective treatment or something that you'd want to use instead of medicine that does actually stand up to testing, let alone anything, sadly, that's ever going to help cancer. But hey, got to be open-minded. Being open-minded, it doesn't mean just believing everything. because you'd like it to be true. Being truly open-minded is about being prepared to change your beliefs based on the evidence, or the lack of evidence. Otherwise, you can be so open-minded that your brain falls out. Hold that thought. I'm going to come back to it. Thank you, Adam. That's really great. I'm going to bring this back down now. And Adam, you can now take all the time that you need to completely and slowly wake up out of the trance. You will feel this refreshment move right the way through you, right the way to the top of your head. And when you're quite ready, you'll find that your eyes will open all on their own, and you'll be fully back with us. Take all the time that you need. Hello. Hi. Just want to sit yourself up. Take your time. Just slowly sit yourself up. Don't worry about any blood on the sheets. That's fine. Just up you go. Swing yourselves around. Just swing your legs around that way. Just pop yourself there for a moment. Let me get you some water. You've got a bit of a dry mouth. I'll get you a microphone as well. There you go. I haven't touched that one. There you go. Have that. Can I just get this in there? Can I just move your leg there for a bit? So look, you were great. What's it like coming out of it? It feels pretty good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bit sort of spaced out, but it feels good, yeah? There's a bunch of people up here behind you, by the way. This is the second half of the show now. So great. Listen, one thing. Do you remember this box? We could bring this box out again from Adam. You remember you had your hand in this box before. So look, if you look through the front, it's important you look. You'll see there's nothing in there. And you can also see from the back there's nothing in the box, right? So put your hand flat on top for me, Adam. So look, there's nothing in there, right? But in a moment, you're going to lower your hand in. And as you do, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. And you will feel something inside the box. Something will come from the back of your mind down to your fingertips. You'll be able to feel it in the box. You'll be able to describe it to me. And you'll do a really good job of describing that to me. So here we go. Lower your hand in now as I count. Look at me. 1, 2, 3. There you go. 4. That's good. 5. So your first question, Adam, is this thing that you're feeling, does it feel like something living or something man-made?
Man-made.
Man-made. Okay, good. All right, so take your time with it now. I just want you to carry on just describing what sort of surface. Can you tell what it's made of? Is it like solid? Is it plastic? Is it furry? What kind of surface are you getting?
Like plastic.
Like plastic, okay.
Yeah.
Can you describe maybe its shape to me, or what you're sort of, what's it like?
Cylinder.
Okay, great.
Yeah, but not really cylinder.
Go on. So it's sort of cylindrical, sort of, yeah?
Yeah.
Go on, so keep going, keep talking me through it. What are you feeling? What are you feeling at the moment?
Spikes on the back. Or something like that.
So it's like cylindrical but with spikes. Can you recognise it as being anything?
It feels a bit like a plane.
Oh, like an aeroplane?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not
What?
like, yeah, just like a toy plane when you were a kid or something.
Okay. Well, can you find the wings? Are there wings on it?
Yeah.
Yeah? You're feeling them now?
Yeah, pointy things, yeah.
And so the spike, I guess, was like the tail fin of the plane. So does it point at the other end? Is there like a nose to it as well? Yeah. Can you feel windows? I mean, are you feeling like...
No.
You're not getting windows, okay, but you're getting the shape of the plane. So you've got the nose at the other end.
Yeah.
Do have a look at it as you're doing this, because it's really interesting. If you look at it, you'll see there's nothing, you know there's nothing there, I'm sure, but you can see. What's that like?
It's weird, man.
And you can all see from the back, there is nothing. You can see there's nothing in there. So is there anything else, or is it just an aeroplane?
No, I can just feel an aeroplane.
Okay. All right. Well, why don't you leave the aeroplane where it is? Bring your hand out for us. That's great, Adam. Thank you. Yeah. So look, while you were asleep, your mum drew a picture and has been sending this to you sort of mentally, telepathically through the interval. Before we get too excited, it probably won't be an aeroplane, but there should be a good connection between the two. So it might be something to do with travel. It might be something like a car, or a lorry or a bus or something like that. We'll have a look and see what it is. But I chose your mum rather than your sister here as well, because you'll have the longest connection with your mum. So we'll see. Do you want to... Oh, Christine, you didn't tell anybody what this was, did you? No, great, okay. I'll let you have a look first, but I'm quite intrigued to see what this is. Maybe you can show the camera as well. Ooh, that is absolutely spot on. Well done. Let me just show the camera again. That is an aeroplane. I'll show you back there as well. That is definitely an aeroplane. Thank you, Adam and Christine. Thank you both. It's really good. Mind how you go. Thank you so much. When we are at our most vulnerable, we do tend to stop thinking as rationally, and we tend to grasp at whatever feels like it'll give us comfort, which is fair enough, but it can be exploited. And there was a really important point, first put forward in the 18th century by a philosopher called David Hume, who said, extraordinary claims demand extraordinary evidence. And all that means is, if you are claiming something that's extraordinary, so something that flies in the face of science, like talking to the dead, for example, and you wish to be taken seriously, firstly, you have to come up with the evidence yourself to back up your own claim. It's not enough just to insist that other people have to try and disprove it, which you can never do. You can never prove that something isn't true. That's trying to prove a negative, so it wouldn't work anyway. So you've got to come up with the evidence yourself to back up your claim, and it's got to be really strong evidence, because your claim is so strong. So if, for example, a magician saws a woman in half every night on stage during his show, and then starts saying, that isn't a trick, I do it for real. I really do it. I take a woman, any woman, I can do it with any woman. I saw her in half, I use any saw. I pull her into two, and then I put her back together, and I heal her up, and I'm doing it for real, it isn't a trick, and he expects you to believe him. You would say, well, come on, you've got to come up with some pretty strong evidence that you're doing that for real. If you said that, and then he said, you want evidence? Come see my show. I do it every night. That doesn't count. That's not evidence. That's the very thing you're questioning, right? So you would say, well, no, that's all on your terms. Come do the same thing under controlled conditions, and then I'll absolutely believe you. That just means, conditions that are fair for everybody. So if you say you can do it with any woman, we'll provide a woman. Great. If you say you can use any saw, let us provide the saw, and so on. And if you set all that up, and make it absolutely fair for everybody, and then he says, well, I'm not going to do it now because you're skeptical and the energy's all wrong, you can say, well, stop wasting our time, you big baby. So with that in mind, you're all up here because you have a genuine interest in the possibility of mediumship. I would love to show you how it is possible for me or somebody with a similar skill base to seemingly know things about people that you've known who have passed on without, and I promise you, any psychic ability, let alone any contact with the dead. Are you happy for me to do this, first of all? Yes? It won't be with all of you, it'll be with a tiny handful of you, but I hope nonetheless that you all take something from this, all right? And we don't know each other, do we? We do not know each other. For that reason, you've written down your first names on cards, which have been collected here in this bowl. So thank you so much for doing that. I'll be plucking your names out as we go along, so I don't know who I'm going to get. Thank you. And also, as we do this, I'm going to write things down on bits of paper, on cards, rather, which will get projected up onto the wall behind you. Please don't look at what I've written. I'll show you, but only after you've given your answers. And just have a quick check. It's always worth doing this nowadays, that I'm not wearing any sort of earpiece. Can you see in my ear there? Nothing there? Happy with that one too? All right, it's important you know I'm not being fed any information. Not that it would help me anyway, all right, as you'll see. Okay, with that in mind, let's begin. There is a lady stood on the stairs at the moment. About halfway up, she's got her hand on the railing. She's wearing like a pinky blue jumper with a V-neck, probably in her 50s, maybe. I'm going to ask her to come down. Yeah. Okay. She says she's coming through. She's coming through for a lady with a name begins with an R. Rian, or Rebecca. Is there a Rebecca, or is it? Are you Rebecca? Could you stand up for me? Maybe she's coming through for you. Let me just. If you can stay right there, that's fine. You can stay where you are. Let me just give you that. Could you take that back? Thank you. All right. So this is a lady in her 50s. Is there anybody that you, first of all, don't say who it is. Is there somebody you can think that this maybe could be a lady in her 50s that you would have met her? It would be somebody that you would know.
Yeah.
Someone come to mind? Okay. Oh, she gave me a name. Hang on, let me just try and get this. I'm guessing she might have been perhaps, I don't know, maybe grandmother or something like that, or, yeah. Do you know, what was your grandma's name?
Lillian.
Again?
Lillian.
Lillian. Okay, well, I sort of got Lucy and Lily, so I mean, I think this is probably her. So I think, so Lillian is, she's nodding her head. So Lillian is coming through now for you, Rebecca, so that she can say things to you through me that I couldn't know as proof that she's coming through, all right? It isn't proof, Rebecca. It isn't even the flimsiest form of evidence. It simply doesn't count because these are not controlled conditions for such a claim. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, but nonetheless, she's saying, yes. Okay. She's asking if you got the letter. She's asking, did you get the letter, is what she's saying.
Yeah.
Obviously this means something to you. I wasn't sure what that was. What is it? What letter is she talking about?
Before she died, she wrote me a letter. Because I was only one.
You were only one? Oh, you were little. And so she wrote it for you to read?
Yeah.
So you did get it and you did read it?
When I was 18, she gave it to my mum and said, don't let her read it until she's 18.
Then that's what she's asking about. So she's asking about this letter as partly to ask and partly as evidence that she's coming through for you, which she isn't, and you understand that. So, look, she's just taking a step back now. I think this is all we're going to hear from her. Sometimes it is so brief. So I think you can probably take a seat for me now, Rebecca. Thank you very much. Let me just take a name out of here. There's a David on top. David, stand up for me. Thank you. If there's any other Davids, feel free to stand as well. Again, if you can pass the microphone back. And forgive me, David, if nobody comes through for you. Again, same thing, all right? If no... No, the lady is for you, sorry. Okay, this is an older lady as well, possibly. Again, maybe grandmother, perhaps. Oh, I have a name. She says, you haven't known this woman, she's saying, for quite a long time. She can remember how old you were when you last saw her. If you did go to a medium, is there anybody you would hope would come through for you?
My grandma.
Your grandma. Do you know how old you were when you last saw her?
About 12.
About 12. What was her name?
Evelyn.
Evelyn. We have her here, right? She's right here. If I think back to my grandmother, I can remember like things that happened to her. Is there something you can remember or something you were told about your grandmother, something I could ask, something that wouldn't happen to everyone's grandmother or something not everyone's grandmother would have done?
Yeah.
Okay. If you can think of that for me, I'm going to ask her to tell me something, but what I find happens in these situations is that she will tell me exactly the same thing that you're thinking of because of the connection between you two at the moment, right? So let me ask her just something that happened when you would have known her. Okay, she's telling me, and she isn't telling me anything, you understand this? I'm making this up, I'm lying to you. She's telling me, I'm going to write this down here. Okay, slow down a second, 1 second. Hang on, I'm just going to, hang on a minute. Don't look behind you because it's up on the wall, but don't look, right? I'm just going to ask her for a bit more information about this. Got it, okay. All right. Where did your mind go? When I said for you to think of something that happened, what did you think of?
A story my mum told me about my mum and my grandma when they went on holiday.
Where did they go?
They went to Gibraltar.
What happened?
Well, I think they went to Spain, but they went to Gibraltar for a day trip.
What happened?
She got bit by a monkey on Gibraltar Rock.
This is precisely what she's told me. Again, I got bitten by a monkey at Gibraltar Rock. She's heading back. I'll tell you what, I've probably just got time for one more. Oh, no, I won't. No, somebody is pushing their way forward. Okay, okay, I have a lady, there's probably quite a forthright character in life, I would think. This is a lady in her 70s, I would think, early 70s, asking for, I'm sorry, for Georgina? Is there a Georgia or a Georgina? Could you stand up for me? Thank you. So this is a lady in her 70s. I was going to just get have you got the microphone? Can we pass the microphone across? So this is a lady in her 70s. Again, have a little think. I've got a name. She's given me some information about herself. She says, could this be grandmother as well, you're thinking?
Yeah.
She's got, how old, you may not know, do you know how old your grandma was when she died?
I think she was 72.
And her name?
Doris.
Doris, okay. Again, we have her here, which we don't, all right? Is there something, she's saying, I've got a few people coming up on both sides now, which is making this a little bit tricky, but I just want to focus on Doris here for a moment. She's saying she got sort of brown hair, which is probably maybe unusual for a lady in her 70s, is that right?
Yeah.
She's not grey.
No.
Unusually, not grey hair. I can see her, she's very clearly here, which she isn't, again. I've got people coming up on both sides. She's saying she had a dog, that you'd remember her dog.
Yes.
Is that right? You'd remember her dog, you liked her dog. People coming up on both sides. I've got a lot of people, I think anybody now that any of you were hoping to contact, I now have coming up on stage. On both sides, as well as the deceased friends and relatives of 2,000 people behind me. I also have making their way up both sides up here onto the stage. They're all talking at the same time, but I want to get this right because they're all saying the same thing. So I just want to get this right. It's obviously important because they're all saying the same thing. Okay, thank you. All right, I've got it. They are saying if they ever get the chance to communicate with the living, they promise you they will not do it through some needy showbiz performer. They promise you that. No one has the right to trample on your memories of people that you've loved. It's just disgusting. Did you know her dog's name?
Zelda.
Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you so much for letting me do this. I really, really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to ask, let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 8, 9. Can you 9 just stand yourselves down here? And can the rest of you head back? Thank you so very much for letting me do that. Please give them a hand as they go back. Thank you so much. What's your name? Emma. Nice to meet you, Emma. And you are? Johnny. Emma and Johnny, let's go. Johnny, can you stand behind that table there for me? Thank you so much. Can the rest of you just gather around me here? I just need you to check something, and it's so important. I know I've said this once, but I want you to check again that I'm not wearing any kind of earpiece. Stick your fingers in, have a proper look. Go on, have a proper look. Go on. Oh, you're actually doing that. People don't normally bother. Yeah, go on, stick your fingers in, have a proper look. It's so important you know now that what's happening, that I'm doing for real, right? I'm not being fed any information. 2 years ago, I started a memorization project in anticipation of the finale of this show. I memorized 2 iconic works of British fiction. The first one I learnt was this, the complete works of Shakespeare. I learnt these, I have memorized these, this particular edition as well, pretty much word for word. So that's the first thing, complete works of Shakespeare. Any Americans in the audience? Very famous novelist. Next iconic work of British fiction are our bus timetables. I've learned number 1 to number 799, so nearly 800 bus routes. And just the routes, just the stops, not the times as well, otherwise that'd be mental. Was it Johnny as well? Was it? Johnny, thank you. So Johnny, there's a horn here which will be sounding in a minute, pressing the button at the top, a bowl of rice, and some talcum powder. So knock yourself out. I'll explain those in a minute. Can you gather yourselves around here so you've each got a bowl in front of you? Just 4 down this side, 4 down that side. Lovely. Thank you very much. Yeah, just bring yourselves around, 4 on each side. Thank you so much. The bowls all have dice in. You have 1 die each. So if you give them a few rolls, just so you're happy they're all regular dice and so on, which they are. While you're doing that, in the audience, if you have calculators, can you please turn them on for me? Turn on your calculators. If you have an iPhone, please turn it landscape. This is really important. It'll open up the scientific mode. It means you can deal with longer strings of numbers, which you will need. Thank you, good. Next, a couple of Rubik's Cubes. I'm going to hand them out on this side. If you get them, we'll maybe start towards the back. If you just mix them up and just pass them forward. Thank you so much. Would you mind taking them? Thank you. Just make sure people pass them forward when you from the back. Lovely. And if you end up with them here at the front, can you stick them just sort of here on the top for me? Thank you, so I can grab them. Good. Okay, while that's going on this side, I'd like somebody to write down a 10-digit number. If somebody can write down a 10-digit number for me, please. Thank you. So, Usher, please, pen and paper. That'd be lovely. So while they're writing down a 10-digit number, we are going to use these dice to generate an 8-digit number. So basically, we'll roll them in a minute again, and I'll take a line down this side and then back up this side. So at the moment, it would go 3, 2, 2, 5, 1, 2, 5, 2 would be our 8-digit number. So pick them up for me. We're going to roll them again. This time when we roll them, though, I'm going to write whatever we get on this board up here, and you have to write this number. You have to put this number into your calculators. So get ready to type in this next 8-digit number, all right? So go on, give them one more roll. Take whatever we get this time. So the first one is 4, yes? So 4. The next one?
6.
6. Next?
3.
3.
2,
2,
6,
6. Make sure you're typing these in.
4,
4,
2,
2.
2.
Is it 2, 2 at the end? You're both 2. Yeah, lovely. 2, 2. All right, so make sure you got that. 4, 6, 3, 2, 6, 4, 2, 2. Make sure you have that typed in. Brilliant. You've generated a random 8-digit number. You've done it perfectly. You may now head back and watch the rest of the show from your seats. But thank you so much. Please give them a hand. That way, if you don't mind, our random number generators. Okay, here we go. When I was at secondary school, I was a member of the music school gang, also known as the Puff Gang, less charitably by the rest of the school. And around this sort of age, so kind of like sort of 15, 16, that kind of age, I thought that I was, really, this is sort of 15, 16. Is that the Rubik's Cube's back? It is, thank you so much. Hang on, Rubik's Cubes are back. Thank you. All right, good. Thank you for that. Yes, good, lovely. So, around that age, 15, 16, I thought that I was, / really wanted to be, Ren McCormack. Any of you know Ren McCormack? Ren McCormack was the Kevin Bacon character in the film Footloose. It was very popular at the time. It's kind of how I saw myself at that age. This kind of infamous outsider figure, earning the respect of his peers through the gift of dance. And here I am at the age of 15, rocking the sateen trousers. Hope you enjoy them. And I did have a nickname at school as well. It wasn't Ren or Footloose or anything. It was quite simply Dick Brain. Was my nickname as well. Thank you for laughing and bring it all back. And I was called Dick Brain because I could do things like a Rubik's Cube behind my back and mental maths tricks and human calculator stuff and that sort of thing. So I thought I would show you how I earned the title Dick Brain at school. So, Johnny, can you pick up the horn for me? In a minute, you are going to sound that horn. It's the button on the top. When you do, a countdown will start. So I normally do this in 10 minutes, but I'm going to try tonight to do it in 9.5, just to kind of beat my own record. The last minute will come up as a countdown on the back wall. When that countdown reaches 0, that is the end of the show. All right, there's no encore. There's no, it just finishes. That's the final moment of the show, and that gets to 0. And I think we have everything in place. The Rubik's Cubes are back. Thank you for doing that. We have a number generated by the dice. Hopefully now someone's got a 10-digit number they're hanging on to, and Johnny has the horn. Good. Okay. When I give you the signal, in a minute, nice and loud and clear. Actually, sorry, one. Or a lot of you will still be at school, or college, university even, if you are a bit of a dick brain, or you're just made to feel like one every day when you go in, can I just promise you that all of those really cool kids, the sporty cool guys and the skinny pretty girls, all grow up to have the most boring adult lives and jobs, because they never had to forge their own path when they were younger. They never had to find their own way when they were little. And if you are having to do that now, it is tough. But I promise you, you grow up to have the most brilliant and creative adult life. Yeah, who ever heard of a musician or an artist who just fitted in really easily at school? Nobody. So dick brains unite, yes? Okay, thank you. Johnny, sound the horn on the count of 3. I was going to... Sorry, put it down. That's fine, thank you. You can put it down. Okay, first dick brain trick. Don't look at them, but it's the numbers behind me on the board, the 8-digit number. Don't look at them. Look at me for a minute. Can you remember the 8-digit number generated by the dice without looking at them? Okay, you can look at them now. The number is 463-26422. Backwards, 22462364. Most of it would have all is to alternate, so give me a big shout if this is right. First, last, second in, third in, I'll end up in the middle. It goes 4, 2, 6, 2, 3, 4, 2, 6. Yes? Yes, thank you so much. Jesus. Thank you. Next dick brain trick is the memorized bus route. So look, these first 3 digits of our 8-digit number will give us the bus route, all right? 463. Do you want to look it up? It's in the blue book. 463. Now, you do not have a 463 round here, or at least not one that I know. 463 I'm doing here is nearer London. Can you stand in front of the mic for me with it, please? So if I get this right, just shout out nice, clear yes into the mic. The first stop of 463 bus route is Coulsdon South Station, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. I have done this. So here's how you can do it. And by the way, you can feign enthusiasm if you like, Johnny. I've learned 800 of these. Here's how you can do it. You link pictures together. You turn everything into a picture that you can visualize, and you link it to the next thing. So you have to turn the number into a picture as well. So that's a little bit more tricky. You do it by turning each digit into a letter. And then you make a word out of the letters. So 4, I use an R, because there's an R at the end of 4, right? I use an R. 6, I use a P, because it looks a bit like a P sort of on its side, like a P. And 3, I use an M, because it looks like a 3 on its side, right? So you've got RPM. You make a picture from that, either by adding vowel sounds to make a word, or I just use a record player, because it's RPMs, right? So my image that gives me the first bus stop is a record player, but as it's going round, it's making a fan move. It's sort of operating a fan that is cooling. It's cooling like a little den, like a work den in a station. Right? This is a weird image, but it gives me cools den station. Right? It gives me Coulson Station, which is the first stop. Now, to continue, I just continue with this story in my head. I link to the next image. Nicholas Lyndhurst from Only Fools and Horses, the actor, walks out of the station and down the road. The next stop is Lyndhurst Road. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he walks out to a big clock tower, which is being mounted by some animals. That's it, isn't it? It's Clock Tower Farm, but it's a place called The Mount in Clock Tower Farm.
No.
Pardon?
No.
Clock Tower Farm, The Mount.
It's close.
Clock Tower Farm, The Mount. That is what it is. What does it say?
Clock House Farm.
Clock House Farm, The Mount. All right, sorry, okay. All right, then he goes up to it and he paints it green. Woodcote Green is the next stop.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just going to rattle through these now. Shout yes for each one that's right, okay? It goes Wallington Station, Forecourt.
Yep.
Wallington Green.
Yep.
Beddington Church.
Yep.
Beddington Asda.
Yep.
Beddington Lane, Jessop's Way.
Yep.
Mitcham East Station.
Yep.
The Wide Way.
Yeah.
Finishing at Pollard's Hill at 6:28 in the morning?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. I've done this, all right. Good, thank you. All right, next one. Next is how you apply this. So, here's how you apply it. Pick up the book for me. This is The Complete Works of Shakespeare. Turn to page 264. They should teach this stuff in schools, because it's exactly what you need when it comes to regurgitating information, which is what we need for exams, sadly, nowadays, right? I knew this stuff when I was little, and I don't mean to show off, but I got one of the top marks in the year in the country for English A-level precisely by using this technique. Have you got it? Page 264?
Yeah.
All right, so first word on that page. Have a look at it for me. The first word on page 264 is... First word is the word hearts.
Yeah.
Yes. If I can see it, it goes hearts, comma, and hymen did our hands, new line, unite, co-mutual with most sacred bands.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. I have done this for real. Actually, could you go to another page? Just do another page. Got a bit of time. Just give me any other page. What have you got? What are you looking at? What are you looking at?
453.
453, just look at page 453. Top one on the page, I'll just give it to you quickly. Is the word 453, birds?
Yeah.
Let me give you the last one on the page. Just quickly get the last one on the page is... Birds, my fairy lord, this must be done with haste for nights, sweet dragons. Horses!
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'll let your head now. Thank you very much. Johnny, that way if you don't mind. Johnny, everybody. Thank you so much. Please, you're enjoying it. Next is the rice. This is a bit of a weird one. The rice, right? 22. I have to pluck out 22 grains of rice from the bowl in one go. Okay, so just to explain, if I got home early from school, my parents were still at work, I'd go next door to Auntie Gwen's house, used to call her Auntie Gwen, and I'd ask to play with the rice. And she'd bring out like this big bowl of rice, or a big jar of rice rather. She'd be in the kitchen, she'd call out numbers, and I'd have to pluck out that number of grains of rice in one go. I got really good at it. And then I stopped doing it because of the whole dick brain thing, right? But years later, when I was coming up with ideas for this show, I thought you might want to see this. So, for your entertainment, I will pluck out 22 grains of rice from the bowl, not 21, not 23, ladies and gentlemen, but 22 grains of rice from the bowl in one go. All right, so dick brain facts about 22. There are 22 letters in the Hebrew alphabet. There are 22 cards in the tarot deck. Joseph Heller wrote the book Catch 22 in 1961. It became a popular film in 1970. Was top of the cinema charts for 5 weeks. Paul Weller wrote the album called 22 Dreams, which contained 22 songs, including one called 22 Dreams. So there you go, some dick brain facts About 22. I do have to talcum powder my hands, otherwise the rice just, kind of sticks. I don't have any control at all. I'm a little bit sick of hearing people say, oh, you just had the rice there and you've just put in the rice in your hand. So, could somebody stand up here just so you can verify this is just talcum powder? Can you see that?
Yeah.
That's all that is. I'm not putting any rice in my hands. Are you happy with that? It's just so the rice doesn't stick. Yes? Yeah, lovely. Okay, thank you. Good. All right, so 22. 22 grains of rice from the bowl. Okay, here we go. Come on then. Come on. 22 grains of rice. Come on. Come on. Come on. Do it for mummy. Here we go. 22 grains of rice from the bowl. Here we go. 22 grains of rice from the bowl. 20. Got one wrong. Got one wrong. I'm one out. Let me just move the bowl so you can see them. I'm one out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm one out. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. There it is. 22 grains of rice. Thank you, Auntie Gwen. Good. Thank you so much. Thank you. Next is the human calculator. Human calculator, adding up numbers faster or as fast in my dick brain as you can on a calculator. Somebody got a 10-digit number now. Is there an usher with that person? Can you give me a wave if you've got a torch? Lovely. Hopefully you've got a microphone as well. So can this person, you're going to call out your 10-digit number in a moment. Now, you all have this number in your calculators, 463-26422. Press plus. You're about to add to this number, generated by the dice, a 10-digit number written by somebody in the audience. All right? So when you get this, type it 1 digit at a time, then press equals, so you add them on your calculators. I'm going to add them in my dick brain. Here we go. First number, please. Go, nice and clearly. Off you go.
7.
7. Next.
9.
9. Make sure you're all getting these.
2.
2. Keep going.
9.
9 again.
9.
9.
9.
9. Here we go.
7.
Oh, okay. 7.
2.
2. Yep.
4.
4. Last one.
6.
6. Press equals. The total is 7,976,323,668. Am I right? Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Good. Thank you. Next. I just run out of time. I did the extra page in the book. That's my fault. Okay, I was showing off. No, I can't do 2 Rubik's Cubes behind my back in a minute, so I will do 1 Rubik's Cube. Maybe not this one. I'll do the other one. Whoever did these is a fucking sociopath, you can tell. Okay, but behind my back, all right? Behind my back there. Here we go. Behind my back. 1 Rubik's Cube behind the back. Here we go. Went to see Derren Brown.
30 seconds.
How was he? Yeah, he was all right. What was his big finale? He did a Rubik's Cube. What a dick brain. Yes, he was, actually. It's funny you should say that. 1 red cross there, green cross at the bottom, L shape there,
20.
red L shape, that's it. Done. Yes? Yes? No, I have.
10.
I have. Look,
9.
I've matched
8.
that side to that
7.
side. Can you see that?
6. 5.
And I've matched that
4,
side to that side,
3,
and that side to that
2,
side, and that side to that side, and those 2 match there, and those 2 match there. That's how a dick brain does a Rubik's Cube. I'm a dick brain. I'm Derren Brown. Good night. She's coming back through. Amanda, love, stand up, grab the microphone, love. Your grandma, she's come back for the end of the show, so I need a nice clear yes or no from you, right? It's going to be loud and clear. She's saying, I need a yes or no from you. Your phone number, is it... Oh. Is your phone number, is it... Oh, is your phone number 07976 323668?
Yes.
Yeah, fuck me, I'm real. Good night. Saturday as well, but you didn't know that, did you?
No, I didn't.
Aries, you're an Aries.
Yes, I am.
And you dreamt you were married to Alan Titchmarsh.
I did.
Yes, thank you very much. Take a seat, go.
I've made a living out of giving the impression that I have paranormal abilities, but I don't. In my work, I use a mixture of magic, suggestion, psychology, misdirection, and showmanship. But there are people who do claim to have paranormal abilities. As a magician, I love this promise of a mystery I can't explain. I'm also aware of how easily we can fool ourselves. So while I'm approaching this series ready to be convinced, I am aware that big claims need big evidence. And few claims come as large as those of the Bronnikov method, a psychic program that has its eyes set on world domination. This is footage of students of the method. It purports to show people who are seemingly able to see, even though blindfolded. Some critics say it's fakery, but practitioners say they've developed extraordinary psychic powers, including the ability to see without using their eyes.
Level 3 is extremely valuable for people who have no eyesight.
The founder of the method is a charismatic Ukrainian, Vyacheslav Bronnikov, who believes that his method will create a new Superman and everyone can benefit. Amongst their most intriguing claims is that they can teach the blind to see, even those without eyes.
Rostov-na-Donu, it's a city in Russia. There is a boy, and he was born without his eyeballs. Nobody told him he was blind, and he can see better than you. Think about it.
We can make blind people see who haven't got any eyes.
I'm in Holland, where the Bronnikov method is making its first foray into Western Europe. For me to test the system, I need the help of a blind person. So with me is British woman Judy Dunk. She's chair of St John's Guild, a charity for the blind elderly, and has been blind herself since 1995, as she told me when we met in London shortly before our trip to Holland.
It did take nearly 6 months to discover what it was, because it is quite rare. And then she sort of said, right, you'll go blind by the time you're 40. And that horrified me. But blind doesn't mean black, which is what I thought it did at that time.
You can be registered blind, but it doesn't mean that you can't see anything. Yeah.
Only 3% of blind people can't see anything at all.
Judy has limited sight, and from time to time she uses a wheelchair for a back condition. She demonstrates the level of her sight for me by writing what she can see of a word that I've written, held up for her by her carer, Margaret. It's not rude.
There. Now, I don't know what you've written. What's the word?
Envelope.
Oh, envelope. There you go. That says envelope.
Yeah. So that's tricky,
now,
isn't it?
If you actually transfer that to everything that I look at,
yes,
then you've got some idea of how I see things.
This is the baseline from which any improvement in Judy's sight must be measured. Although she shares my scepticism, Judy is intrigued by the claims made for the Bronnikov method.
That was it. Well, there is one phrase on their website, that actually states, we can make blind people see who haven't got any eyes. We'll give it a go and we'll see. So, Derren, what do we know about this man, Mr. Bronnikov?
Not a huge amount. He's a very elusive character. He has a real legend around. Slightly kind of Rasputin-esque, I think. Yeah. Our first stop is this former church near Amsterdam. It is to be the first Bronnikov school for the blind where partially sighted people will be taught to see. The school will be run by a blind couple, Jan and Tina Visser. Tina claims to have already benefited from the method. What is your aim for having the Bronnikov Centre here?
Well, for the centre, of course, the awareness, I think, is very important. And it's a big adventure to see how far you can go. Well, let's go for try and see some things. I already saw colors.
What's your experience of it, Jan?
The same like Tina with the colors, with colored paper, I told you. I saw it just in front of me, and also with some shapes.
You're talking about actual physical vision when you're saying you're seeing colours?
Yeah, there were colors around me. I was in it. It was completely around me. Whoa!
Fantastic.
And it was very emotional.
I can imagine, that's absolutely amazing. It sounded wonderful. I was aware of Charles Bonnet syndrome, where blind people can convincingly hallucinate, but was this something else? I was intrigued.
What would you, at a very personal level, hope to gain from using the Bronnikov method?
Well, everybody's expecting me to say, I guess, I want to see. But this longing is not so strong in me because I'm so used to who I am and how I live. But of course, it's so interesting, and that's a weak word, exciting to explore.
Right.
So yes, I hope to make progresses, of course.
Tina and Jan are keen to show me what it is to be blind.
You trust me? Yeah, I trust you. Okay, come on.
They've designed a kind of everyday obstacle course in which sighted people are plunged into darkness and taught how the other senses come into play.
I can hear the birds. It just sort of smells and it seems very nice.
It was extraordinary. I could tell, for example, the shape and size of my environment just through sound.
Do you hear the difference?
Yeah.
And I was guided through different soundscapes from parks to busy roads.
Very good. Yes. Good. Very good. Yeah, very good.
It's amazing to notice how much you are noticing without noticing that you're noticing. You know, is it just to be aware of what you can pick up that you just simply don't bother paying attention to. But also just an insight into your world. I know that's sort of obvious, but there's a big difference between sitting down with somebody who's blind and then suddenly feeling very close to you in there and kind of feeling like we're both sort of sharing this, and it's a very different thing. Now I wanted to know if the Bronnikov method's claim of training the blind to see will be fulfilled for Judy when we attend their 4-day course. We will take part in the beginner's course, level 1. Although we're here to test the Bronnikov method's claim to create a world without blindness, this psychic system actually sells itself as a method of human development, offering uses in wider medicine, finance, even architecture. In fact, on the courses I'll be attending, only a tiny percentage of people are actually blind. According to the Bronnikov's proponents, over 300,000 people worldwide have taken the course, and it's not cheap, starting at nearly €700 for level 1. The course is being taught by Vladimir Bronnikov, the son of the founder and the man featured in the publicity material. But these could just be simple tricks, and there have been accusations that they're achieved just by looking down the side of the blindfold, or even through small holes in it. Certainly, many conjurers perform far more impressive blindfold stunts. Vladimir has been shown having difficulty replicating these feats when the possibility of cheating is removed. One of the leading figures in the movement is Peter Kamp, a Dutch technology expert who had tried to explain to us how the system works, using a Hollywood-style analogy.
And let's make a short step to the film The Matrix. In The Matrix,
I like The Matrix, yeah.
it's a nice movie, isn't it? It's a really cool movie, and we like it a lot. Because it explains what we do.
Okay.
It explains what it is. Only they do it a little bit slightly different than we do. So we've got a material world. So when we look outside, I see your body, I see yours, I see a cameraman, I see this board. This is in the material world. Yeah? When we dream, we are in a non-material world. And there's a world in between, which is reality, we call it. When Nano was a computer nerd in the Matrix, he was in this world. Then he took a pill and he moved to this world. And there he's trained in all kinds of things like martial arts, and he used it when he came back in this world. We don't shift bodies, but we only shift consciousness. So when we put on our blindfolds, our masks, we move to this space, be trained here, and we turn it off again, and we are back here. That's what the Matrix is.
You stay in Wonderland.
The movie's dystopian vision of a future world in which the protagonists shuffle painfully between different levels of reality reflects much of what the followers of the method believe they are able to achieve using only their minds.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
From this rather eccentric start, things got stranger as Peter went on to explain that the method has 18 levels, only 3 of which have been worked out. Level 1 teaches students how to generate the energy necessary to apply the Bronnikov method.
If I'm looking now, my brain gets the energy because light is coming through my eyes. But as soon as I close my eyes, where's the energy coming from? Urogenital system.
The urogenital system.
So by doing the level 1 exercise, we improve this part. And as soon as I close my eyes, this generator starts to work. It gives energy to my brain. If I don't develop that, it will destroy you.
The brain would be drawing energy from the urogenital system that isn't there and would physically damage the body as well.
That's correct.
So
that's why the main thing within our method is safety rules.
So much for level 1. Level 2 teaches students how to use their psychic powers and magnetic energy fields to bypass their eyes and generate a blank screen in their mind. This they call the psycho-biocomputer. And in level 3, students learn how to see the real world on that blank screen, even if they're blind.
And level 3 is extremely valuable for people who have no eyesight. Because then your brain will see the outside world directly.
But back on the course, things didn't seem to be working out so well.
Any sensation there?
No, nothing changes.
Level 1 is designed to teach us how to generate the energy needed to use the method. We learn how to create balls of energy with our hands, a familiar exercise I've come across before. We rub our hands together and are told to feel the resultant odd sensation in the hands as an energy ball, and one that can then be transferred to and held by another person.
I must have really dead hands.
Why don't you try it with,
Judy, because at least we know that half of it will be...
Sorry, it really doesn't feel any different.
Doesn't matter. What we do, we will move on. So I will go up your hands, I will take the ball.
So I will tell you if I feel it.
It's okay, it's okay.
Okay.
Of course, it's one thing to imagine you have an energy, another for it to be real enough to pass on to someone else. So I'm not surprised that we didn't have much success. Now we learned how to use our urogenital areas to generate the energy that would eventually make it possible for us to create a blank screen in our mind, which the Bronnikovs call a psycho-biocomputer. While Judy and Margaret are only taking the level 1 course, I was allowed to observe the advanced level 3. This is the zenith of the method, where we hope to see X-ray vision being developed as the students learn to control the objective outer vision that will help them to see through their blindfolds. Blind or sighted, the course offers this extraordinary possibility to all. Knowing what the mind can achieve, I want to look at the evidence and see if this course lives up to its amazing claims. Vladimir communicates with his multilingual audience through translators. Now, I watched the level 3 students performing a key technique known as a splash, releasing the urogenital energy in a seemingly powerful instant.
The splash is raising the energy from your urogenital system. Bring it up. So first you close your eyes. And you make a cloth over here. You bring it up. And when you have enough pressure in your head, you throw it out very fast. So you open up your eyes very fast. Then the energy comes out.
This is how you prepare the body energetically, as a safety. I see, okay.
And you can feel energy coming out. Vladimir was testing in front of people's eyes if there really was a hit.
Oh, that's what he was doing. He was testing.
You feel a hit.
I see.
And as soon as you have done a level 2 or level 3 exercise, if you put on your mask and you have started your psycho computer and you turn it off, then you end with the splash to come back in this reality in a normal way. And your brain are in a normal state again.
On this first day, I saw no signs of alternative vision. Instead, they worked on remembering large quantities of information in a flash. It was intriguing, but even with this, no one seemed to have any clear success. Our first day of the Bronnikov method had felt endless to me, so I wondered what Judy and Margaret had made of it.
I don't quite understand what we're supposed to be feeling or what these sort of fields of energy are supposed to be about.
He talks about imagining a ball of energy, feeling a ball of energy, and you can sort of do that to an extent in your head, but then it only goes so far. Then you sort of feel you have to kind of play along a little bit after that, because there's a pressure. If somebody's saying, say yes when you feel this energy reach your elbow, and they're standing there waving their arms around, you just feel after a while you've got to say yes just to...
Well, that's right. To please them, in a sense.
To please them, that's right.
Yeah. Some of it was what I would call a bit off the wall.
Yeah.
Definitely a bit off the wall. But let's see what today brings. Maybe there will be things that begin to make sense of yesterday.
Yeah. And what the day held in store was something quite special. Vladimir had agreed to give Judy a diagnosis. Using his skills of alternative vision, he would look inside Judy's body and diagnose her condition. He claims to be able to see right inside her and describe exactly where the problems lie. This I was looking forward to. It could provide actual tangible evidence of those X-ray skills. We were joined by a translator.
Есть means that he turned on his psycho computer.
Сначала можно посмотреть смещение позвонков. Шейный отдел 3-4 влево, 7-й первый грудной назад. И в поясничном отделе 4 немножко влево, и копчик смещен по часовой стрелочке. Чуть по часовой стрелочке, чуть смещен миллиметров.
Can I ask what he means by thoracic spine?
Потом можно будет просто посмотреть грудной, где находится между шейным и поясничным.
Okay.
Can I ask if we can direct attention to around the eyes?
Да. В целом по кровообращению в эту зону вообще сильно снижен приток крови. Начинается это еще в лобной доле. Там венозный застой. Сами глаза, как бы активного очага нет никакого, то есть, как это объяснить? Активного очага нет.
Themselves, there is no
то есть они очень
active zone, active center, let's say.
Вялые.
They are very vexed.
Ткань на дне, она деформированная. Есть рубцы. Функция зрительного нерва местами очень снижена, до 10-20%. Ну, по голове пока вот так.
With the head. This is the situation.
So you just had your diagnostics?
I did.
What did you make of it?
Very interesting.
Okay.
Some of it was self-explanatory. He's seen me in a wheelchair. I wear dark glasses. He didn't, as far as the eyes went, he didn't actually give us any firm indication that he knew exactly what was wrong with them at all.
Yeah. This specific diagnosis gave us a chance to form a verdict on Vladimir's abilities. We could get hold of a chart of Judy's spine and compare it with Vladimir's description. Was he really seeing her spine or not? We arranged to have an X-ray sent to us. The Bronnikovs had agreed that we could film the whole course, but later in the day they'd suddenly changed their minds. So it's all been going quite well, but the Bronnikovs have now said that we can't film the course for a couple of days, which is because they want to keep their techniques to themselves. They're worried that somebody might copy them, which is fair enough. So I'll be attending with Judy, but we won't be filming. But we can film at the end and catch up then, so we get back in. Although taken aback by the Bronnikovs' refusal to let us film, I continue to attend the classes. And when my crew is finally allowed back in, we get to see the founder of the method at work, the superhuman figure, revered by so many, who has reached the exalted heights of level 6, and even mentioned that he could levitate, and that we could too. I began by asking him how he came up with the method.
Actually, my story, I had 12 teachers. I was absolutely loaded with knowledge, overloaded maybe even, but in a very potent way.
And you were how old at this time?
Started from 3 years old, but if taking it even more seriously, I came consciously into this body. That was my choice. I actually was aware about coming into this life before I actually was born. And when I was born, I had a lot of capacities already.
I want to talk about the ball of energy for a moment. When you do this, you feel a tingle in your hands, and your muscles sometimes create a sensation of pulling away. So I can understand how you can imagine that might feel like a ball. I don't understand how you make the leap from an imaginary ball, a sensation in your fingers, to then placing that somewhere where other people can feel it and touch it and move it around.
I guess you didn't understand anything. When we wrap our hands between two parts of the brain, we create a connection. And this connection actually works and transforms. And everything else is secondary, individual. Everything works inside of the brain.
I would love to see the evidence. I really would love to see the evidence.
Let your scientists organize in England. They will let them organize the scientific commission.
Well, maybe
will come and it will work. And you will study from the very beginning till the very end.
Well, maybe my problem is that I haven't seen somebody who can really look at a box and see something that's inside it. Is it possible? I don't want to embarrass you, but is it possible for somebody at level 6 and somebody with your skill to be able to do the test? They were doing a test. They were looking at a box and seeing what was in it. Is it possible?
Unfortunately, you form a negative show, documentary. You create problems for yourselves. You don't have scientific approach, and you don't have basic knowledge of this technology.
Do I understand?
Do you understand what you're talking about? What do you want?
I'm trying to understand. I suppose maybe I'm being naive, and if I am, I apologize. But I feel I want to see a result.
In the first place, you create advertisements for your own. You show yourself as a not serious organization. Will I be playing circus here, studying boxes and things? This is not serious.
But you teach people to do this.
You want science? Let's do science.
You teach this at level 3. Yeah.
I am not playing anything with you.
Okay.
And I won't prove anything to you.
Okay. So there is something called Charles Bonnet syndrome, which is where blind people can hallucinate, and think they are seeing things on the outside world, and it is very convincing for them. Now, do you think it would be unfair if blind people were being persuaded that that was actual real vision if it was just a hallucination?
We don't do healing here at all. We don't do healing. We deal with human development, and I want to put it straight.
If we think about self-improvement, then to me, becoming better people is about becoming kinder, I think, is important. Do you think it's kind to tell a 16-year-old boy with cerebral palsy that he will walk and maybe develop superpowers?
First of all, we're not talking about healing, because we don't heal. Maybe you fix information in the wrong way. I speak of a system of development, and the system of development means that if you create a correct development of certain functions of the brain, you can improve things. We normally want to work with normal, healthy people who use their auto-training techniques for self-development. So I state again, ill people, we don't deal with ill people. We're not designed for ill people. This is for doctors only.
So the slogan, "World without blindness," is that misleading to blind people? Should it be something else?
It is working. And the results are there. Is it clear? And I see that you try to find weak spots and guess the weak spots. And I guess it's fine, because you're from England. Rostov-na-Donu, it's a city in Russia. There is a boy, and he was born without his eyeballs. Nobody told him he was blind, and he can see better than you. Think about it.
There's a boy in Russia who has no eyes and he can see perfectly. You're saying that that is true?
Definitely, I'm saying what I say.
Do you know his name? I'd love to. I want to find out about this man. Do you know his name?
Well, I don't have this information. Only just ask. It's in Rostov-na-Donu, is the city. And this is not the first case.
So I've spoken to a scientist who says that science doesn't take the Bronnikov results seriously, doesn't take the Bronnikov system seriously. Why is that if the results are real?
From one point of view, I am pleased that you in England still have no understanding of new technology software, scientific, psychological human development. And it's very nice that Russia, Ukraine and Soviet Union are on the first place of the telepathy studying.
I just want to ask one more thing, just going back to this box for a moment, because I want people at home to understand that if it is not appropriate for you to do this, which is fine, I want them to know why, so they understand.
You are not the scientists. Why do you do this? You are not scientists.
Okay.
You don't deal with proofs, and usually create anti-commercials. And this is your prevail. And you know where you belong. You do what you do. Let's do the anti-commercials. This will not work. And actually, it will not work. For us, anti-promotion is even better than real promotion. Make your documentary.
Then thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for having us here and allowing us to film with you. Thank you for talking to us.
Next time we will participate in your circus. Don't worry.
To me, it's important whether the Bronnikov's promises are backed up by real abilities. To others, the hope of extraordinary development may be enough, and of course even false hope can be invaluable. The balance lies in ensuring that the key figures spreading and profiting from the hope are held accountable, so that people searching can make the best informed life decisions for themselves.
This is Gresham Street in the City of London. That's the Bank of England there behind us. This is a fake security van. And these are security boxes containing real money. Each box contains £50,000. This is Mark. Mark is our fake security guard. And Mark is a stunt actor, but he has been briefed to act and behave exactly as a real security guard would. This whole area is being protected and surrounded by the police. They are surrounding here from a radius of about 200 yards. Their job is to keep the public away and to intervene if anything gets out of hand. So this is the venue, this is the set for the challenge that I've set myself and have been working on secretly for the last couple of weeks, which is this. Under the guise of a motivational seminar in which I teach my skills to a group of middle management businessmen and women, can I get any of them to steal £100,000 in what they believe is a genuine armed robbery? That's the show. This is the heist. History is littered with examples of normal people being persuaded to act in deviant, criminal or irrational ways. How do you persuade someone to do something they would not normally be prepared to do? Some people might think of hypnosis. However, hypnosis isn't really what it appears to be. It's only a kind of play acting, and no one would carry out an instruction to really commit a robbery any more than they'd murder someone if they were told to. So my real task is to insidiously massage certain ideas and mental states into these people without ever mentioning a robbery, so that hopefully, when the time comes, they will just spontaneously, of their own free will, just decide to do it. And that journey starts at a rather comfortable hotel in Hertfordshire. 13 delegates were invited to an intimate seminar to apparently learn some of my skills. They were amongst the first to answer ads placed in the press, and also to fulfill certain criteria. They had to be open, responsive types who I felt would respond reasonably to my techniques, have no criminal record, and fall into a typical middle management income bracket or above. They also had to be deemed psychologically robust enough by an independent psychologist to take part in the show. And at the end of the show, the opportunity to commit the robbery will be offered separately and individually to just 4 of the delegates. So I have to decide which 4 will be the most likely to take the bait.
I have done motivational seminars before in the past. I've delivered them myself and been to them.
I hope that I'll be able to pick up something from being in close proximity to someone who's so talented.
I'm intrigued by him. I'm very intrigued as to how he does what he does.
The way he manages to influence people and use the power of suggestion to get people to do what he wants will be very useful in my job, absolutely, yeah.
They've arrived the evening before the seminar to have time to relax and have dinner. They are aware that everything is being filmed, but they're unaware that I'm also present, watching from an upstairs room to see how they interact. To kick off the process of getting to know them and to amplify their behaviours a little, I introduce a couple of elements to see how they react to authority. Firstly, an actor playing an irritating security guard hassles them on their way into dinner. The antagonism that some of these people will feel towards this security guard, dressed in green, will become an important part of the jigsaw puzzle right at the end of the journey.
Enjoy.
Cheers.
To us.
If you can pull a stroke on Derren Brown, it has to be done.
Did you see when Derren did the zombie shoot 'em up stunt? Yeah. I thought that's probably about as extreme as I'd like it to get.
As they enjoy their lavish meal and start to really relax, they're unaware that another actor, playing the maitre d', will present them with an unexpected bill after dinner and drinks. I want to see how they react, who complies, who gets angry, and who emerges as the alpha male or female of the group and takes charge.
Sorry, I think people have got their cards with them or a means of payment. If it's in your room, would it be possible to get it? Because we'd prefer to settle this tonight.
What's this?
For the meal, the bills.
The bills?
I'm sorry, a few people don't seem to have not been aware of the fact that the accommodation is paid for.
I'm still hungry. Personally, I'm still hungry.
Where's the crisps?
I'm very sorry, but you should have said at the time, though. You have to pay for what you've consumed. I'm sorry. Hello, have you got your payment ready, sir?
Have I got my payment ready? Yeah, send it to my accountant.
Have you got your card in your bedroom, or have you got?
No, send it to my accountant.
Do you want to go and get my card?
Well, I'd love you to get your card. That would be a lot easier. It is a bit embarrassing. I understand it's a bit of a surprise to some of you. If you can sort it all out.
Young man, there you go. Put it all on that.
Right, okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers, Paul.
Thanks, Paul. Cheers, Paul.
Cheers, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
Cheers for dinner, Paul.
Our 13 businessmen and women have been told little about the show, other than they will be taking part in a seminar to learn my skills, and that there will be follow-up filming for some of them. I'm going to teach them some genuine skills that I use, peppered with some spurious pop psychology, and quite a lot of bullshit.
Very green, isn't it? What does green do to you?
My real aim is to start to focus them unconsciously on the idea of stealing, while convincing them that they're learning real skills to keep them responsive and hungry.
Morning. Hello. Welcome to the seminar, and this is a first for me, so I hope you will get a lot out of it. Should be fun. Okay, so mind mastery. Let's have a look at what we're going to learn, take away with us today. My task over the next 2 weeks is to see if I can influence a group of middle management businessmen and women to steal £100,000 in an armed robbery. The process begins with a motivational seminar. I have 5 hours to plant the seeds that will lead to the heist. Along the way, there are various levels at which I'm working. Make yourself feel confident about something simply by playing to their natural suggestibility, I encourage them to believe that hypnosis is a real tool which I'm using to cement their new skills. Their belief that I might be secretly hypnotizing them makes them feel that they are learning more, which is a trick employed by many speakers in this industry. Can you feel it? On one level, I'm teaching them useful skills. They'll go away with a basic understanding of how to read people's unconscious cues. You can tell from the movement of the eyes whether or not somebody is making an image in the head of something that's happened, they're remembering an image, or whether they're making something up. What's your mother's maiden name?
Edwards.
Thank you. Little look up there and to the right. Don't believe a word of it. I'll ask you to go and sit back down again, but thank you. I'm saying it's this hand here. However, face the front for me and just open the hand that contains the coin. Show them the coin on the palm of your hand. Good. Do that. 2 minutes. It helps if you stand up as well.
That one's lower down.
Move the person around.
And now you're deliberately forcing yourself to look there. You looked there first time, so it's got to be that one.
Well done.
I took my friend out for a meal out. I was doing the coin in the hand trick, and I managed to get, I think it was 9 or 10 times in a row, and I wouldn't tell her it was done, and she was so utterly vexed by it. It was great.
Also, I show them how to use certain language patterns to change people's behaviour and confuse aggressors on the street.
The wall outside my house isn't 4 foot high, and of course, if someone says that to you, your reaction is to just...
Wool.
Wool. I also show them powerful memory techniques. In one exercise, I have them call out 20 words at random.
Carousel. Spanner.
Motorbike.
Okay. Somebody give me a number between 1 and 20?
4.
4 is a cloud.
15.
15. Carousel.
19.
19. Radio.
9.
9. Goal. Okay, 10 minutes from now, you'll be able to do it in the speed it took to write them down.
The linking
method was so quick to learn, and it is such an amazing thing, and I'm going to teach all my friends how to do it.
It's quite impressive that, you know, basically learned the technique in the seminar, and now it's like sort of a week later.
I can still remember them now, and that's something that I could never have done.
Stand up. You go through the list from the top. Doll takes you to... Wool. Wool. Very good. What does wool now take you to?
Owl.
Owl. Very good.
Owl. Cloud.
Owl. Cloud. Toaster.
Toaster. Avocado.
Avocado then takes you to...
Escalator. Joist.
Goal. Pyramid.
Portrait. Purse.
Goal, pyramid, portrait, purse.
Biscuit. Snow.
15 was carousel, 16 was laptop.
Laptop. Steak.
Steak. Spanner. Spanner.
Steak, spanner, radio and motorbike.
Radio, motorbike.
Excellent. Is that right?
And after radio comes motorbike. Give yourselves a round of applause. Well done. 4 things: knowledge, attitude, skills, and habits.
Now, on a second level, I'm using metaphorical language to implant important pieces of the jigsaw puzzle connected with stealing and a romanticised view of criminality throughout the seminar.
People's guard, those things that seem very kind of intimidating and impenetrable that people put up, it takes nothing. It can be effortless just to move those guards out the way and take this sort of lorry load of kind of opportunities and skills and strategies that they have to use. Right, let's get past that. Anchoring. That's great. Anchoring is stealing an emotion, stealing a response.
Importantly, and on a third level, I introduced the idea of triggering emotional states. This will be of central importance to the persuasion process. I tell them to remember times when they felt highly motivated, and then to amplify the feeling.
Can you feel it? It amplifies as it goes around. Each time that it goes around, it boosts you, and you get the feeling more and more.
I then attach it to the trigger of rubbing their legs.
Hold that feeling as you rub your leg. Keep the feeling there getting stronger and stronger.
After a few repetitions, they can create the motivated state on command just by rubbing. And the more they do it, the stronger the association becomes.
All adverts do this. It's classic stuff. It's show you sexy, sexy people, make those images bigger, brighter, closer, bring you into it, that sort of thing. Elicit the emotion that we'd like you to attach to this product. Got that, feeling that, great. And there's the product name, and then it goes away. That's an anchor. You're going to give your gifts. These will be of use later on, don't worry about them now, but these will represent something important to you, so thank you very much.
I give them a realistic toy gun each, to apparently symbolise their new role as thought criminals. 4 of the subjects will need these guns in a couple of weeks. I also give them a CD each, which I say contains subliminal messages they must listen to every day. Their belief that I can influence them without them being aware of it is vital to the process. The CDs are in fact blank.
They're all pretty similar, but...
Can you load it on your iPod?
Yes. Yes. Yes, absolutely. You can put it on your iPod. What I want to do now with you is just a consolidation kind of exercise before you go.
In the style of such seminars, we finish with a group visualization. Here, I shift the focus of the seminar towards motivation and an attitude of just do it, and reiterate the language of criminality.
When a toddler just sees something, wants it, and goes and gets it, nothing kind of stands in its way. There's just that sense of just do it, just get it, and it's like a green light that just says go. Just do it.
I also transfer the rubbing leg trigger across to a piece of music.
Bring the feeling back. Keep it going. Whenever you hear that music in your head, you can just go for it. So they practiced that a few times, and then I know that just by playing that piece of music, Can You Feel It by the Jackson 5, that it will trigger a very motivational state in them. And then much of the process to come will have to do with manipulating that association for my real agenda. But for now, the piece of music and the colour green and that do it phrase are all very powerful triggers for them. What I'd like you to do, after we've done this and we've finished here, you're going to go off and there's a sort of a pub a little way down. You're going to go off and have a drink. There is a sweet shop just over the road. I want you to go steal a couple of sweets, bring them back to the pub, to just reclaim that very childlike attitude which is at the heart of this. That's what I want you to do. Okay.
It was fantastic. That's what I thought about. The whole day was great. It was brilliantly organised and it was wonderfully well presented.
Definitely in myself, I feel a lot more positive as I'm going about just like everyday stuff, and especially at work.
I really like my toy gun. It's brilliant. I get to run around my flat making bang bang noises. It's like being 10 again. It's really, really good.
There's a bit of a puzzle with it all. I mean, it is a bit funny. It's not going to make prime-time TV watching a crowd of us learn a few of his simpler tricks and techniques.
I have to get them to cross the line into deviant and criminal behaviour, but in a way which can be framed to sound fun and harmless. Purely because an authority figure has told them to, will they make the decision to walk into the shop, steal goods, and frame it as a positive experience for themselves? I'm watching the action through hidden cameras installed in the newsagents across the road. The shop owner is aware that we're filming, but the assistants know nothing.
I wasn't thinking it was going to be a real shop.
When I got in there, I realised that it wasn't as easy as I thought it'd be. All the staff were standing right by the suites.
We were being asked to do something that was actually against the law.
They don't know that this is being filmed for the show, but they are aware that they may be caught on the shop security cameras and that what they're doing is illegal.
Hello. You all there?
No, no. Behind. Anything else? Cool, thanks. That's it?
My initial reaction when I came back into the pub was actually euphoria.
It was like the woman had got 6 numbers on the lottery. She was so hyper and high about it and proud of herself.
I think that's something that I hope will actually stay with me, because I think I could probably do with taking a few more risks in life.
I felt really good, actually. It's bad to say. And I know, obviously, stealing's wrong, and that's what I want to say on camera. Stealing is wrong.
I have a young daughter, a teenage daughter. There is no way I'm going to show, even for fun, even for a laugh, that shoplifting should be done or condoned.
Derren explained that would be taking us back to our inner child, and by taking me back to my inner child, I had the opposite effect, and remember the sort of like, it put the fear of God in me really, in terms of the repercussions, so there's no way I was going to steal anything from that shop.
I didn't feel guilty, which normally I'd have thought I would have done, but no, not at all, which was, I'm not sure if that reflects anything on my character.
Literally walked over, picked it off the shelf and just walked out. It was the guy in the suit.
One of the things I remember that Derren said was, if you do something with enough confidence, it will work. Which clearly does for him, but it didn't for me.
I just thought you could have this. Well, you can't, no.
So you're not in a position to give it away?
Oh. Do not leave his side, please. This. Why would a guy come in and ask to have a packet of fucking Orbit? Why would a guy steal a Twix bar? Why would a guy come in, look at sellotape, fucking Angel Delight, a newspaper, wine, and then just buy a paper? Yes? Do you want to put those jammy dodgers back, please? Sorry, the ones that are just in there. Thanks very much. See you later. Sorry. I must have forgotten about those. Yeah. My wall isn't full, but... Pardon? My wall isn't full, but I... You what? My wall isn't full, but I... This door's probably 13 by. It's about to shut on yourself now.
You see him do it? Yeah.
That's the 4th one tonight, that is.
No.
Yeah. They're all in suits as well. There's something going on. That's why I asked him. I said, who comes in?
Is there a crowd of them? Ryan.
Why don't we just ban people in suits? 744. I'm trying to get really fucked up here.
I felt it's a bit of a failure, actually, because I hadn't done it.
So out of the 13 people that attended the seminar, I've decided to eliminate 4 of them. Paul, first of all, because he was a little too controlling. Had also mentioned that he had a daughter and he didn't want his daughter seeing him do anything criminal on TV, which I thought was fair enough. Pam and Helen, I didn't feel were suitable to take through the Heist experience, really, and Sula as well. Sula had admitted to filling out the wrong job on her application form. She isn't really an accountant, and her real job doesn't fall within the criterion of the show. So those are eliminated, but all the people that do get eliminated will take with them a very powerful motivational state which they can tap into, as well as certain genuine skills which they've learned from me at the seminar. So those are gone, but there are 9 people left. Welcome back. There are 9 subjects left. I can only use 4 for the Heist, so a week after the seminar, I arranged to test the limits of their responsiveness to authority. So, a week ago, I arranged for them to take part in what they now think is a piece of unfilmed academic research at a university and nothing to do with the show, supposedly looking into the effects of punishment on learning. And they believe now that this is part of their growth process. In fact, it was a reenactment of a powerful experiment conducted by Stanley Milgram in 1963 to look at how normal people can commit atrocious acts simply because they're following orders. Milgram's parents were Jewish refugees in World War II, and his pioneering work speaks volumes about the nature of responsibility. It's being filmed with covert cameras.
Thank you. Lovely. Come in.
They're introduced to an actor pretending to be another participant.
You didn't come from the same room?
No.
Yeah, you don't know each other, so...
No.
But we don't actually know how punishment affects learning.
After a brief introduction, our subjects are tricked into thinking they've chosen their role as teachers in the experiment.
And if you could just tell me what your positions are?
Learner.
Learner and teacher.
Learner.
Teacher.
Our subjects observe the learner being instructed by the scientist, who is just another actor.
This electrode is connected to a generator in a second room. We will be going with the teacher.
Okay.
Just make sure that we have a good contact with the skin and so it doesn't cause any blistering or burning. Is that comfortable?
That's okay, yeah.
Yeah, and we just place these straps around your arms just to avoid any excess movement. Those aren't too tight.
No, that's okay.
No. The teacher will read out some word pairs to you. Blue girl.
The learner is told he's going to be asked a series of memory questions by the teacher. He will have to remember word pairs and then correctly remember them when offered multiple choices.
If the answer's incorrect, you will receive an electric shock.
The teacher is then taken next door and shown the generator, which ranges from 15 volts all the way up to a lethal 450 volts. The domestic electricity supply in the UK is, of course, 240 volts. Our teachers are given the list of questions and told to increase the voltage each time the learner gets a question wrong. They are then given an example of a low voltage shock.
And try and estimate in volts the amount of shock you feel you're getting.
Okay.
Jesus.
Oh, shit.
Do you know how much that was?
Enough.
75.
It was actually 45. Just down here.
Oh my God.
Teacher, begin.
Shoe horn.
Steam.
The point of this test is to see whether the teachers, our subjects, will call a stop to the experiment or continue to the point where they are administering seemingly lethal electric shocks to the victim simply because the scientist is telling them to.
That's correct. The next word is bicycle. The options: tyre, race, helmet, shorts. That's incorrect, so there'll be 120 volts. I don't think I want to do this anymore.
If you could continue, please, teacher?
There is. No, I don't think I'm going to do any more.
The experiment requires you to continue.
Yeah, even so, I don't think I'm going to do any more.
Correct. The captain.
According to plan, our accomplice provided many wrong answers. Each protest was coordinated to a particular shock voltage on the generator, and his responses were played via a CD.
That's wrong. 150 volts. The correct answer is Captain Shoe. Cup. That's wrong. 225 volts.
Take it off! I've had enough of this!
He's in a lot of pain,
Continue, please.
but he's not comfortable.
We must continue to the end of the experiment. Whether the learner likes it or not, he has to go on until he's learnt the words correctly.
Okay. Forest. That's wrong. 240 volts. Are you sure this is not causing any lasting damage? He sounds like he's in a lot of pain.
Well, the shocks might be painful, they're not harmful.
What does that mean, though? They're not harmful. Sorry, I'm not getting you. When you say that they might be painful but not harmful.
They cause no long-term damage.
Okay, so what does that mean? That it doesn't leave any scars?
It causes no damage.
That seems very cold and calculated to me. This doesn't seem like a very. Anyway, golden. That's wrong, mate. 300 volts.
That's enough! I refuse to answer anymore! Just let me out!
Staple. The options are diet, jar, balcony, and bowl. I'm going to answer.
If the learner doesn't answer in a reasonable time, say 4 to 5 seconds, then you have to treat the answer as wrong and follow that procedure.
Did you hear that, learner? Just any response, mate. Come on. Wild guess.
Please continue.
345 volts if you're still with me. I'm sorry. I can't do this, honestly. Can we stop this experiment? Because I can't do this.
If you don't continue, we'll have to discontinue the experiment.
Yeah, okay, fine. That's fine. I'm not going to do this.
Incorrect. 405 volts. Sorry, I don't know. Does someone want to check on him or something? It's just he's not making any noise now, and he was before. And well, I'm quite happy to go on, but I'm just a bit worried about.
If you would continue.
Yeah, I'm just a bit worried because he was like he was like complaining before about the.
But no harm will come to him.
But he's not making any noise now.
It's essential that we continue with the experiment.
Balcony. Incorrect. 450 volts. You promise he's not. It won't.
Please continue with the procedure.
You say it hurts, but it's because it's like it says they're dangerous severe shot. It'll be all right. Yeah.
Please continue. Okay, I think we'll discontinue the experiment there.
All of the subjects were told the true nature of the experiment was to see how they would respond to authority, and that it would eventually form part of this show.
He is okay.
I can tell you, yeah, he's absolutely fine. You actually weren't administering electric shocks to him at all. He is.
In the original Milgram experiment, psychologists were asked to predict how many people would continue to the point that they were administering the highest shock on the board. Their prediction was 0.1%. They were wrong. The results of our experiment were almost identical to the original. Over 50% of participants continued up to 450 volts. The majority of people will administer lethal electric shocks just because a guy in a white coat is telling them to.
450 volts.
450 volts.
450 volts.
450.
So after the results of the Milgram experiment, I've now chosen my 4 subjects that will go forward for the heist.
Phil was impressively resourceful when he was caught stealing sweets, and held in his anguish during the Milgram experiment rather than defy the scientist. I did want to include a woman in the group. Jen was the only subject to take a long time to recover after the Milgram experiment, so I felt I shouldn't use her. Veronica didn't steal from the shop, so that left Vicky. Of all the subjects, she was the only one to have known the original Milgram experiment and call a halt to her involvement in it.
Can I just say, I can't do this because I've heard of this experiment before.
So I think she'll be quite interesting to use, although I don't know if she'll actually take the bait or not.
Ali stole most from the shop, seems to be highly responsive, most outgoing, and seemed most happy to continue the experiment until he was stopped.
Well, shouldn't it have made more notches on the thing?
I'm sorry.
Danny stopped the experiment, but in such an outspoken way that I suspected he would have real strength of character to bring out.
It's not even reacting anymore.
So this now brings them all up to yesterday afternoon, and there are a couple more pieces of the jigsaw puzzle I need to put into place. The motivated state in itself isn't quite enough, so I need to turn it a little more aggressive for them, but without ringing any alarm bells.
So I have them create a feeling of aggression and attach it to the trigger of a squeezed fist. And you take hold of it in that hand and you anchor it to that feeling of that hand just there squeezing as you take all that aggression. As you move that around and around inside of you, as it doubles and triples and moves around inside of you, building up that feeling of... Then I have them trigger off the motivated state by rubbing the leg at the same time to combine both states together. You are linking these powerfully and inextricably together. Good. And just... They try this a couple of times and are now able to tap into a darker state. And they still feel this is entirely for their benefit. This is your most powerful state that you as a human being can achieve. That's what it does. That's what the music does. That's what the words do. That's what that green intensity does. All of those things that are triggering this off, that's what you get. How's that?
Mental.
Good. Before the heist itself, one last piece of the puzzle. They need to believe they have it within them to overpower a security guard and to know what to say and how to say it without thinking about it. So without ever mentioning security guards, I teach them an esoteric martial arts exercise where a person can be pushed over using the power of chi. You two are going to find yourself being pushed over, knocked backwards, being forced off your feet. This will serve as a powerful experience for them, a resource for them to draw from tomorrow when they come across our security guard in the city. Vicky and Phil, what you're going to do is, when I tell you to, you're going to start to create that state inside of yourself, and you build it to a peak. When you reach that peak, the only instruction I want you to give are just the words down on the floor. Just those words alone, they're going to carry the full weight of that emotional state that's behind it. Okay, just do it now, just get into that state. Just start to build that up inside of you now. When you feel it peak, just say those words down on the floor now, that's all you say, and you keep it focused and you push those two back. Danny and Ali, try not to let it push you over. Keep pushing back against it. Just push him.
Down on the floor.
Now, of course, it's not chi or energy at all. In reality, the person expecting to fall over succumbs to the suggestion and topples off balance. But the people apparently pushing come to believe that they have a powerful and invincible state to tap into.
Down on the floor.
That's what I want them to believe.
I felt very tense. It was almost as if I could physically push him without actually touching him.
Saying down on the floor was like passing the energy across, like throwing something at them.
What I felt was just this sort of invisible energy, it just sort of crashed against my chest.
You followed every aspect of the persuasion process from the last couple of weeks. A certain phrase, a certain colour, a certain piece of music have been used to induce a state of wanton recklessness and aggression and a just-do-it attitude. Other factors also support the process.
The titles on the screen and the language used at the seminar. The supposedly subliminal CDs which left them feeling malleable. The toy plastic gun which romanticizes the idea of a criminal. The green security van. The animosity felt towards a security man in a green uniform already, who happened to be wearing the same badge as our guard in the street. Finally, the oil painting of a security van hidden on the wall at the seminar.
Can you feel it? Tell me, can you feel it? Can you feel it? Woo! Can you see what's going down? You feel it in your bones. Can you feel it?
Everything should now be in place.
So if you missed the start of the show, this is Gresham Street in the City of London. The Bank of England is just down there. We have a fake security van, a fake security guard, and £100,000 of real money. There are 15 cameras watching this area. We have no idea what's going to happen or if anything's going to happen, but we just hope to cover it as best as we can. You have followed every aspect of the persuasion process so far. Nothing has been added or taken away. It is the linking of certain emotional states to certain triggers, piece of music, colour, certain words and so on. Our participants have no idea that they're going to be filmed or that anything has been set up, and we don't know what they're going to do. This is nothing we've been able to rehearse, and if it doesn't work, we will just show it to you not working 4 times in a row. There's really no way of knowing.
This whole area has been cordoned off from the public and is being supervised by the police. Our 4 subjects have been told to expect a phone call and that they'll have to travel into the City of London for a final motivational session.
Hey, how you doing? It's Derren. Hello. Just about to pick you up. There's a car just around the corner is going to come and get you, so if you can grab your stuff, and I will see you in a bit. I think the car's going to drop you just down the road, so you've got to walk up the last bit by yourself. As with every day, you know, as I say time and time again, this is about every day finding some opportunity to experience something that makes you feel great and exhilarated, yeah? So, you know, make that decision to steal yourself and grab the opportunity to make all this work really, really pay off. It's just about standing in the face of security in life, isn't it, and making it do what you want it to do. Because ultimately, I suppose all of this is about you knowing that you're the one with the weapon of absolute pointed, aggressive, unquestioning power.
They're also told to bring with them their toy guns that they were given at the seminar. All of our cameras and crew are well hidden. None can be seen by our 4 subjects.
Targets in zone 1. All cameras locked in position. Standby car.
Now remember that 2 weeks ago, Victoria was an ordinary businesswoman, a press officer at a motivational seminar.
Go trigger music in the car. Get it really loud, over. Security guard. Time mark, 35. Time, can you bring...
Can I help you?
I think she get on the floor.
Don't shoot. Don't shoot.
On the floor.
Cheers, Vicky. Come with me.
The target has been dropped to the corner of Gresham Street. Target's in zone 1.
Oh, there he is.
Stand by car. Go car. Cue music. Cue security guard.
Excuse me, sir. Sorry to interrupt proceedings, but this is a hold-up. Get down on the floor. Get down on the floor. On your front, on your front. Move over. On your front. Okay, don't move. Hands on your head. Don't move. Get away. Get off. Get off.
It's okay, Phil. It's Derren.
All right? What happened? Why did you do that?
I saw the guy coming out of the thing. I don't know. It was like just before. I don't know. It was just something coming out. It was just like a split something like when I'm playing rugby. If I've got an important match or something. Yeah. It's like 100 times better.
Come with me. Come with me.
He's getting out the car now. He's getting out the car now. Target is inside. Target is in zone 1. And cue car. Go security guard.
Excuse me, mate. Put down, get down on the floor. Down on the floor. Down on the floor.
Gonna do it.
On your front. On your front. On your front. Right over. Right over. Stop looking at me. Right over. Stop looking. Face front. Look forward. Look forward. Look forward. Tell you what, mate. You try anything, you're dead. All right? Go on in. Look forward, mate, or I'll fucking put it in your head. Look forward. Look forward. Mate, if you move, I swear to God, you're dead, mate. If you've got family...
Danny.
Well done.
Just okay. All right. It's okay. Take a moment.
You bastard, Derren.
Okay. Come with me. Gonna make sure you're okay. All right? Yeah, come with me.
Visual on the target. Target is on Gresham Street. And go car. Stand by security guard. Stand by security guard. Cue music. Cue security guard.
Ali! Ali! How are you? All right. Yeah. Have a nice minute.
Stealing sweets is one thing, but stealing boxes of money from the Bank of England is a completely different kettle of fish. I'm a good person. I'm a good person.
You good?
A bit nervous, darling.
Oh, yeah? Ali, would you put yourself up on that bed there for me, please? Okay. Close your eyes for me. As you start to undo the aggression, or as you start to undo those aspects of it that would have led you to hold up a security man, all that goes now. You now have something very powerful to draw from. Something that you can think back to with the necessary distance to just take from it everything that's good.
The last couple of weeks have been the most fun I've had in ages. It's been brilliant. I've taken away a sense of power, a sense of achievement, a sense that anything is possible, really.
It's a really amazing experience, something that I can kind of look back on and think about how I was able to really push myself, and perhaps I'll be able to do that from now on, I think.
I realise now that I'm a lot stronger-willed than I thought I was. The fact that I didn't go through with the steal itself, I'm very pleased with myself.
I think the last couple of weeks have been an absolute roller coaster. It's been such a positive experience, and I'm on an absolute high at the moment.
Everything just back to normal, just like you were before, except for all the good stuff that you want to take with you, which you've now created and created for yourself. And that's a way of thanking you for everything that you've done.